So let's get into it. Let's look at some actual team play. And again, the whole point here is like these are actual teams. They've practiced this scrim. They're making decisions based on what they think is good. We're gonna evaluate that and see if we can apply that to our comp games, our pug games, and also obviously just look at what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. Hey, let's go. Blah. Thanks for the intro.
Today we are going to be
for the world teams
Blah blah blah
have a couple of days.
blah 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 blah.
ended up
His Afro's kind of sick.
They haven't taken away by complexity. It is a little bit of a counter pick
Okay,
for
Noise
them.
Box
They
and
are a little
Bind,
bit more
Haven
comfortable
Ascent
on it,
split.
but Bind is their most powerful.
Yeah.
But they map
a handful of times, 3 times in the past. I mean,
they were Equinox on the attack.
Okay.
That game
Let me look at team comps.
super close, Sully. I mean, it went to overtime. Complexity was almost in that position that we mentioned before, where they were about to get upset.
Blah 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 blah. Okay. So let's see. Complexity, Jet, Phoenix, Omen, Killjoy, Sova, and then Nox, Reyna, Jet, Sova, Omen, Cypher. Okay, so in my head, right, when I see these team comps, I'm thinking on Nox's side, they're playing an offense where they don't want to get traded. So Jet and Reyna are the classic non-tradable duelists, right? Jet can dash away, Reyna can E away. So they create pressure on the map by being able to kill someone and then not get traded. Whereas on Complexity's side, oh, and then Omen supports that too with Omen blinds, right? Like when you're nearsighted, it's hard to trade stuff. I mean, the Complexity has an Omen too, so it doesn't matter. But on the Complexity side, they opt instead of for the Reyna, where it's like Reyna is less harder to trade. You have the Phoenix, where it's like it's more about executes. You even have Killjoy mollies for like post plant versus the on the side of Nox, they don't have that. They have the Cypher, where instead of you have Cam, so you get more info. Cypher, as compared to Killjoy, is definitely more information giving. Like he has 2 cages, which are smokes that give info. 2 trips, info, camera. So he has, in total, 5 pieces of info versus Killjoy, who actually only has 2 pieces of info, alarm bot and turret. Mollies theoretically can give info because they clear corners, but it is different, right? Mollies are more for locking out areas, obviously, and they're good for post plant. They're really good for post plant. So we're looking at like a execute. I think we're looking at a execute sort of style with complexity, and trying to get these post plant scenarios where they have these Phoenix flashes, and all these sorts of utility that is good on a post plant versus like a Nox where maybe they're more defaulty and they're more about like getting these picks and then doing something together. Cypher, again, being a much better lurker than Killjoy because camera is info and allows them to lurk with more safety. All right, so let's see. We'll see what they do on pistol though. Okay, first things first though. Even just like at the pre-map setup, they're putting 2 trips here and then a camp here. So they obviously want to go A and maintain mid control with this camera. Actually, maybe they go C then. We'll just see how this plays out. Omen defaults so C and smokes A long. They walk A, so they're just kind of taking a aggressive A stance. Okay, so this is a good setup. The Killjoy alarm bot, they're both here. They're gonna flash off this contact, right? Pretty simple. Flash contact. They don't convert well. So let's see what happened. Let's actually look at loadouts. Oh god, loadouts are so important. So the Killjoy has a classic light armor, and the Phoenix has a classic light armor. So to be completely honest, I think if they have this setup, one of them opts, instead of for light armor, a frenzy. And I think with that frenzy, that engagement is different. Again, I could be wrong here, but that's how I feel. If you look at 100 Thieves, what they do with Asuna on Raze on Bind is they'll run two pieces of utility with her, usually Boombot Satchel and a Frenzy, and she won't have any armor. In comp queue, this is like so when I play Raze in comp queue, I just buy light armor frenzy, and I've made the statement before. The reason why I do that is because I don't really care to use my utility to create map space. I just want to take a gunfight and win it. Because in comp queue, that's more important. It's less about all these like map control decisions and like using utility to like find that map control safely, and more about just like you're walking up, you shoot them, and you kill them, and that's like that, right? And armor helps you do that. Um, but Asuna, when he buys a frenzy and then two pieces of utility, is kind of creating this compromise situation. Like, yes, he doesn't have as much HP, but like if you're confident in like how you're using your utility, you should have a favorite fight anyways. And like you can still be able to convert because the frenzy is a great gun without that armor. So same thing here on this A-long situation. Like you can imagine, like, does the Phoenix really need armor here, right? Like, yes, it sucks if you get one tapped through smoke and like you're like thinking like, yeah, if I had the armor there, it would have been better. But I'm thinking like, okay, he has like this is a perfect smoke. Like this Omen smoke is actually kind of good for them because they're gonna flash, like they're gonna pop out of the smoke, right? So I'm thinking he has flashed, he has wall or like two flashes, doesn't matter. He has two flashes and a frenzy, right? He opts out of the armor, and then he takes this fight, bam, frenzy, 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 frenzy. All I see is frenzy, dude. Like this. See how long that kill takes? Like it takes him 7 bullets, whereas like with frenzy, I think this kills much quicker, and like maybe he's able to convert to a second. And I'm not sure what happens with our Killjoy. I think our Killjoy, like same scenario. Like I think our Killjoy, I do think the classic light armor is better because he's playing a supportive role. He really doesn't want to die. But maybe she just whiffs, Like maybe she just gets frenzied and dumpstered. But hopefully she does damage. She does damage. Yeah, she does damage. Um, so yeah, I really do think it's on this Phoenix, like their loadout choice. Like if he has frenzy here, I think he tries to convert two. And if he converts two, that maybe changes this fact that the Killjoy dies, because maybe he kills the Omen quicker. Like he converts on the Omen, and like if that Omen dies, then maybe the Killjoy converts on another. And like this is a different scenario then, right? But instead, Phoenix gets one, Killjoy doesn't get any because frenzy just dumpsters. Uh, Classic, and like I guess he didn't hit the headshots. And that's that. Like this round is really hard now. 3v2 or 3v4 retake is pretty tough. Shock dart for the post plant doesn't land. Like they plant faster than the timing. So and that's that. Smoke the lockout heaven. And this heaven drop is really hard. He's getting ready to heaven drop, but like it's hard. All right, they go. One shock dart lands. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. So there you go. That's that round. If there was a better if the frenzy pick was there, I think they maybe convert better. Again, I can't say that for sure, but I'm almost certain. And at least that gives them opportunity to like pop out, get the frenzy clip out, go back into cover. If he has the second flash, he flashes again. Call it a day. All right, so it looks like they're forcing. Let's see what they force. Oh god, so much stuff going on. It's boggling my brain. C trip.
This second round, though, surprisingly complexity. They're the ones going for a full buy against Equinox. I mean,
I actually don't know what they're doing. They bought Marshall on Sova, so he's gonna hold A long with that, I think. Or he's gonna peek sewer. Oh my god. Oh my god, what is this, dude? This is wild. Okay. So this kind of makes a little sense. So yeah. So they're putting their Deagle and Marshall on A side, right? So if they come A, like you have the range with the Deagle. Like Deagle on this angle is pretty good. And then opping obviously is common on A side as well. So you can either peek suicide or long with your op. I think in this scenario, they're expecting their Cypher, the Jet on the enemy team to cage this always, so they're not going to play with that timing. They're just going to deagle and try to like one tap through smoke, while the Marshal tries to get that angle. So this is fine. And then you'll notice obviously on the other side of the map, they're playing the closer angles, right? They're doubling garage. They're putting their Jet close C side, so obviously not back C side, close C side with the stingers. And obviously you're going to try to win the round off that. Oh, this is important. On Nox's side, they have a setup where they have good mid control. So they're putting this camera right here because a lot of teams on their eco rounds just, especially in pugs, right? Like they just rush mid with like 4 deagles or like stingers or everything. They get map control and then like split the team and like run you down. So this camera's there to watch that garage and that window push to see if any lurkings happen. If they get a pick off that, then this eco round is much harder, or this force eco round is much harder for complexity to win.
Already, just off the bat, it looks like a little bit of aggression down towards mid with an early peek from Sharky.
Yep, yep. So that is actually exactly what they're looking for. Nox is literally just waiting to see if on this eco round they're gonna do some forced aggression, some sort of set play, whether it's an Omen blind into a Phoenix Flash, a Jet Dash, something like that, right? They're giving respect to the fact that they could be doing some sort of wild play, and they're using their clock more efficiently so that if because here's the thing, if I forget the size already. Is green complexity? Yeah. If complexity decides, right, to do something aggressive like that, and they're playing these positions like very passively, like their ciphers literally in spawn. Like what that means is that the enemy team has gambled with their utility, and they've gambled wrong, right? Like it's different. Like if 3 of these people just went into like middle grass side and like the Omen blinds out and they flash out of garage and like get 3 kills off that, like that means that the utility they used, they gambled off of, like was worth it, obviously, because they got the kills. But because they're not taking that space, like if they decide to do that, because they don't have information, right? They like these, it's silent, so they don't have information. Um, so if they did that sort of thing, right, like flashing out of Ascent A long as Omen and then having your Jet Dash, like that's just a quote unquote waste of an Omen flash. Like yes, maybe there's info like you get from it, but like they're kind of playing counter, right? They're playing counter aggression. Um, and so if they end up using their utility early, they can counter utility and like then take that space back.
This is where
And it's
things
not a
can really
problem.
get tricky for Equinox because next round
So
we
they
do
have
have
info
players
that
that are playing
there's
this
nothing A
literally
side.
what would happen,
Well, there's
especially
someone
if we're
holding,
seeing
right?
actually have
So this is
pistols,
good
but
too because
now
they
at this point
punish
with
that push
complexity, they
if
have
they
no
decide to
choice
take that
in this
space because they
scenario
don't see
kind of
anyone.
timeline. Their economy gets
We'll
restricted
see if this
to
cross
just about
happens.
2k credits if they end up losing out this
The
round,
spooky
leaving
dude.
them, I mean,
The
essentially
spooky
forcing them
cross.
to go down to the pistols. So I guess buying out would still be good for their
Okay. So they decide to commit Aldrin over to A side. I don't know what made them make that decision. Obviously, I think taking B is pretty bad on this round, on an eco round, because it's very close. There's a lot of corners, and you get surrounded, which is not good. So I definitely do think taking C or A is probably the play. A is generally speaking actually pretty easy to take if you use your utility well, even on eco rounds. Like a lot of people get buckied in sewer from this angle, but like if you have Sova and Sova drones and you play safe angles, like it's a pretty free clear.
momentum and to really shut down
The drone
Equinox and
spots out
whatever
the
pressure
Sova
they
and
might have.
the
Now they're
Sova's
going to P,
shooting.
wasting out actually 3 bullets
Whatever. Doesn't
from that
doesn't
Marshall
matter.
trying to take down the Owl drone. But no wide doesn't
They
get
have info that the
second.
Sova's there,
It's very
so
useful
that
for
drone
really most
converts that
players.
info that
Yeah,
there's a
things
Marshall.
really passive from Equinox. I mean, we saw Lear go out as well towards C long. Sharky didn't reveal
Oh
anything
my
from
god,
it.
that was
Did
so
reveal
dangerous,
he
dude.
was here from the
I thought
get-go.
that was really dangerous.
Brings off a Marshall shot. Now, with all of this going on, complexity, they haven't really made any moves. They've just got information. Sharky is playing a very close angle. This could actually
Okay.
be very
So this is again, this is obviously obvious because we have all the info, but like that owl drone baited out rotation from the killjoy. Like the killjoy rotated over here and then went back, and then C-site. This was like the initial setup anyways, and it pulled the omen, which was garage side over here, to B. Um, I think I've seen better. I don't want to say these are bad teams, but I think I've seen good teams anchor harder into their setups rather than not. Um, and so I think this Omen, rotating, giving up that space is maybe debatable.
deadly, but a great flash from
But
Tex. He
again,
doesn't
hindsight
check his
bias is
corner.
that. So
Sharky's
anyways,
not
it
able
goes
to
into
dash
the
away, but
jet, and the
reinforcements
jet
are
gets the
here.
entry there.
They do know what they're
Gets
doing on
two,
garage side.
actually, which is
Sharky's
pretty
still got
crazy.
the stinger, and this
We'll
could
see where the
actually
other
be
people
very deadly,
die.
but a great flash from Tex. He doesn't check his corner. Sharky's not able to dash away, but reinforcements are here. They do know where he is
I
waiting
think
on
the Phoenix just gets sprayed down. And then that dart? Oh, the dart is
right
on the
Sharky
jet.
still
Okay, so the jet did her job.
able to find a second. They will flush him out, but a
And then the
reinforcement, like I
Omen.
said, an XP3 is just Sharky's not
The
able
Omen
to dash away,
Paranoia?
but reinforcements are here anymore.
Bruh.
They've just got information. Sharky is playing a very close angle with a stinger, and this could actually be very deadly, but a great
There's
flash
no
from Tex.
way.
He doesn't check his corner. Sharky's not able to dash away, but reinforcements are here.
No
They
way.
do know where he is
Oh, he paranoids now.
waiting on the
Okay, that sucks. Okay, that actually kind of is yeah.
site.
Okay, so this is actually really important. So this Omen, because he decided to go B side, right? Which again, they don't have info, right, that there's anyone B side. But I would have liked the Killjoy to have, like they cheat this person because of that owl drone, and I would have liked it if the so imagine the scenario in which the Omen, even despite that owl drone, right, everyone anchored their positions. If everyone anchored their positions, this Omen's still garage side. This Killjoy's holding B now, right? If that's true, then the Omen, because he's garage side, is able to get to his flash quicker, right? So he's rotating right now from B side to try to support his team. And like, you know, Sharky's trying to stay alive as long as possible. He's using smokes, and he's obviously shooting back to keep that. His flash shot comes out right here, right? Right at this 26-second marker. It is a really good flash. It connects with, I'm pretty sure, almost all of them. But watch, as soon as it connects, both duelists die. And so you have to think to yourself, like, if he had actually anchored his position in garage, right, his rotation would have been faster. He would have got to that flash sooner. If he had flashed sooner, his two duelists probably would have been alive still. If they're still alive still, and that flash goes off, he swings with his two duelists, they win this round. Like, they actually probably win this round. He ends up getting a kill with it anyways, so this round's still not lost, but it's close, right? He's 1 HP. It's 3v2, but he's 1 HP. He gets traded. Okay, complexity, rotation comes in, gets a kill. 1v1. Alright, they should still win this, actually. Oh, info? Nice. So, the gamble paid off. They had a really good setup for it. The Omen blind may have been a little late, but he still converts one off it, so it's good. But this round probably could have been cleaner if he had anchored a position. And that's something that happens a lot in Comp Queue, actually. In Comp Queue, you'll see a lot of the times people are like always rotating, right? Always rotating. And the problem with this, obviously, is like you give up sites for free by doing that. But the bigger problem is that when you over rotate, you also miss your timings, your windows for doing specific things. And in my opinion, timing in this game is something that's not very well looked at. People think of team play more than timings. But I mean, even just today, when we were in a Comp Queue match, there was like one guy who was saying like, oh, like I want to wait for our jet lurker, right? And like, yeah, that's good in a team play sense, but in a timing sense, like you can't expect the enemy team to be doing nothing while you're waiting for your lurk, right? Like map positionings are always moving and things are changing, and that's exactly what happened, right? So in the time that our Brimstone was waiting for our jet lurk to happen, a Reyna from the enemy team lurked through mid and killed him. And so like they're like, so like, you know, like if we had just gone, like the jet lurk is going anyways, right? So like we're taking pressure off her on site. She can go faster on her lurk, and we go at a time in which we don't die to that lurker. Or if we really want to wait, then someone has to hold it, right? But no one held it. Um, and so it just ended up being like this huge mess because we missed our timing of like actually committing onto site as like 4 people. Even if our lurk was a little late, like it would have been fine because we wouldn't have gotten flank killed. Yeah. So anyways, timing is important. That's all I'm saying. Timing is huge. And so looking at positioning and like where people are around the map is super important because positioning dictates timing. He gets the bulldog, good, diffuses. So you know their gamble paid off. And again, I do think their gamble paid off because they had a good setup. It's very obvious they thought of their positionings and like what guns they wanted to use and which scenarios which were beneficial for them. Right? They put the Marshall here, put the Deagle here, put the 2 stingers garage side or 3 stingers. You know, one on C, but you know 2 garage side to get the close angles. Very close with the Omen rotation not being there in time, but you know he was literally just there in like the nick of time. Arguably a little late, but enough to convert one, which you know was all he needed at the end of the day because Sharky popped off and got 2. Alright, cool. So this round is pretty important because they are forcing back. Like they're fighting for economy. And the alts that are about to be on the board, one is Jet Knives and one is Sova ulti. So in my head, I'm thinking as Nox, right? We want to work the C long orb or A long orb. C long orb is actually kind of hard to get against scrim teams, I think, because you just spray through smoke and like it's right in the middle, right? So it can be tough. But regardless, depending on how they're feeling, I'm thinking like, okay, orb or plant to get the Sova ulti. Jet doesn't need knives because she has her Spectre, so this is fine. Um, so they can set up however they want. They don't have to like put a special consideration for the ultis, but you want to get your Sova ulti here. Um, and instead of like doing the pub thing where like you Sova ulti and like try to get a pick with it and your whole team watches, it makes a lot more sense to Sova ulti and like on your Sova ulti you're initiating. And the Sova ulti is like clearing the corners that you expect them to be.
Like you said, those rotations, they were huge. Now moving into this round, Equinox, they're going to try and buy back. They do allow themselves enough credits to allow them a buy here in the event that Complexity did end up beating them. And with Complexity's win there, they'll be rolling in the credits for now. But if they can win this round, then it becomes their bonus. And then Equinox might be in a little bit.
We gotta look at loadouts again where they're positioned. This is actually kind of interesting. Like they put two mollies here on B. I guess they really don't want them to take B. Maybe Complexity is expecting a force back. That's kind of crazy.
Did end up beating them, and with Complexity's win there, they'll be rolling in the credits for now. But if they can win this round, then it becomes their bonus, and then Equinox might be in a little bit of economic turmoil.
Really, both of these teams are aiming to more or less reset the others, so lots of ramifications going forward.
Okay, so they're going for an honest. Okay, so this is very default. They're taking an honest A take with the Cypher lurk. Cypher may decide to push into B site, or he may just decide to join his team. Doesn't matter. That's his choice. Aldro into clear short. Duelists paired with each other. They are waiting for smokes, and they're gonna execute. Have Sova plant, and then they'll have Sova ult for post plant. There she is. She goes in. Flash comes out. Turret's broken. Smokes are up. So that was really nice, right? So like you saw how fast everything was done, and like this never happens in a compu game, right? People are literally like sitting and doing nothing for like the longest time. But like look at how fast this happens. Look at the start of the round start. Smoke. Sova's tucked in. Drone checks long. I think that's their. I don't know. It shows green. Is that their dart? Oh, whatever. They check long. Drone comes in, checks it short. None of the duels are peeking this close angle. Let the drone clear it. Drone clears it. Right now they take that space. Take the space. Omen's setting up. He knows this is clear. They cross as well. Right. They don't even care about long because they have stingers and specters and shit like that. So they just give it up. Cypher decides, yeah, I'll come with my team. Maybe he goes long. Yep. Yep. Perfect. Yep. He late lurks long, right? So just in case there is someone tucked in, even though they should technically know that there's not. He's there, right, to support. And there you go. All the utility happens simultaneously. The smoke, the dash, the flash, the popping of the smoke, right? They're denying all the information to the enemy team until the moment of execute. And it's a great execute because it's all clear in sewer. And they're able to get out of this entrance like fast, right? They're not stuck in that entrance. Like you can see the teams funneling out. Whereas like a lot in pugs, like people just get stuck in like a sewer and they never come out. And like you can literally see the positions. Like they're all out on site. The only person not on site is Cypher, and he's lurking late on long.
Have one under. If I'm not mistaken, might be XP3 on the rotation.
And there you go. They have sight.
Going for a full retake setup, Sully.
Yeah, I don't actually know if I like the fact that they're trying to retake A, but I mean I just think it was a good execute by Nox. Okay, so Recon gets one. Bad on whoever didn't break it. They have enough people. Like maybe Sova could have broken it. Someone could have broken that Recon.
Yes, he can. AGM, good for the first, but with that kill, things slowed down. Smokes will be dropped here by the.
There's the Sova ult, right? So they let their Sova ulti plant, and they're playing this. So that kill and that recon is like the cue for the enemy to push, right? So he's playing off that audio cue, and he's hitting this whole entire lane. And this is very strong, right? Like this is the thing as well. Like in comp queue, you see all these Brimstone and Sova players playing post plant, but like it doesn't make sense to play post plant and like far away from your team when you can just support your team and like win the round anyway and like make it cleaner, right? If you think of like playing post plant, like the only scenarios in which you actually want to do post plant are basically scenarios in which you are pretty much not by yourself. You're like probably doubled up and like it's a 2v4 and you think you're gonna lose the round if you only take gunfights, and so you just try to play spike and like time, right? But like in this scenario, like it doesn't make sense to play time, because if Sova plays time, what he's gonna do is he's gonna run like over here and bait his entire team while they take, you know, well in this scenario a 2v5, right? Like that makes no sense. Like if Sova just goes here and plays his ulti and like waits for a spike tap, like these two guys are playing a 2v5 while their Cypher's lurking through. Like no, that's bad, right? So instead of doing that, like he makes the smart decision to actually just fight for this lane and like help his and like support his two people on site. And so his Sova ult does get a initial tag, probably gets two, it might even get a kill. Yeah, so first tag, right, gets the Phoenix, and so that ulti sets up the Jet for that kill. Obviously, this is not accounted in his KDA, it's just an assist, but like this ult is what supports that kill. Does he get another tag? No, he doesn't. He doesn't get another tag, but look, he's zoning this entire lane, right? So these two people are not out yet onto site. Whereas the Heaven people are starting to drop, so this gives the two people in this Omen smoke, or wherever the fucking smoke is, a little bit of time to actually like take this 2v2 rather than a 2v4. Oh, yep, there you go. The Heaven Drop comes out. So the Heaven Drop comes out. They're taking this fight now. And they win that fight, right? So they win that fight. And now these people are coming out of that A main side. Alright, I guess one Heaven and one A main died. But anyways, basically these two people took another 2v2 because that ult zoned two people from dropping. One unfortunately gets traded, but like now this is a good round. And that's it.
They didn't know where he was, but Pancakes knew where
So that was really clean. That was well played. And that's like that's a
to
big difference from like what you would see from a Sova from like a Pug game where he would literally just run long, play his shock darts and like ult, you know? Like that's the difference between the team play and the Pug there. Is like the team play he's setting up like he's making a decision where it's like he's setting up his teammates and it works because he knows that his teammates are going to play off that ult rather than just playing for himself and playing his result.
3-1 either side, and based on it, Equinox, here is their bonus moving into the next.
Again, just pure chaos. You wouldn't expect, of course, the Hunter's Fury to come out in round number 3, but it's just a mixture of really decent fragging from DXN in the last few rounds. Essentially a couple of bonuses, but not only that, but the ult orb really just going his way every time.
Okay, so now now this round as complexity, I'm thinking like you have Killjoy ult, so you know generally speaking you play a retake on Killjoy ult because it's strong. So I wouldn't expect anything different here. They can stack the other sites, and this is maybe the wrong call, but I always try to win my ecos. Like I still try to like if we have certain ult conditions, I always think of like how we can win these ecos. So the fact that their Jet doesn't buy full armor tells me that they're not playing really like that philosophy, and that's safe. But
you would consider it a
I don't know.
bonus
I'm a
considering the
psycho.
fact that Equinox still has most of the
So maybe I'm
firepower
wrong in
they
that
had
regard,
against the
but I would have liked
last
to
round.
seen a full
Little
buy
bit
on
of
the Jet there,
reinvestments, but
and commit to
it's
winning
really
this
gonna come
round
down to
with the
complexity and how
knives.
they treat this round. It's a little bit more
With the knives and the
aggressive. They
Killjoy
have that
ult.
short hold, which they didn't have last round, and Equinox eventually ended up taking advantage of it. And double mid control. That's a little bit weird for complexity, but it might work out in their favor for some initial frags.
Jonah P creeping around. He's got a sheriff. Actually, they both have sheriffs, but again,
What?
Equinox. It's in rounds like this where they're up against an eco. They like to play very, very slow. Now, one thing to note going into this one, complexity. They do have a Killjoy ultimate. That lockdown could be.
Okay, walk up C with drone, smokes come out, Jet dashes in, takes space. C site's free because they rotated off because they showed A presence. So what I'm seeing from complexity is like their rotation timings are actually not that great. I think better teams are just gonna anchor their setups and trust in like the zones that they're playing because they have strong setups. They're like trying to gamble stuff.
Mina's looking to create a lot of space in the back line. Spike will be going down here. Complexity, it will be a 5-on-5. That dart gives so much information.
Good recon whiffs.
He tries to capitalize on it, but Blade storms out for both sides.
And that's this round because playing retake is ass here. Yeah. Yeah.
With no first contact and long, that would have been complexity.
Mina pops knives?
Their best hope going into this
I think
round.
that's
So they're just trying to
questionable.
hold things back, delay
Because
time
like,
for
don't you want
Equinox
to save
to
that
make their way on site, but
when they're
really
not on
nothing of
eco?
the sort. With full real estate of sight, Equinox, they can just focus down on
I think
certain
that is
points,
overkill.
and complexity, they don't exactly have the firepower
Oh
to
my
fight
god.
back. So if
Nice.
anything, a couple of exit frags here and there might be the most that they can garner, and indeed XP3 are still going for
Yeah.
a couple.
Yeah, so I really don't like that and like how complexity played it.
Gets one.
Because like they pop knives, no?
At the very end.
Let me check out.
3-1 scoreline.
Yeah, that was terrible. Like I don't get it. Like that was really bad. Like I think they should have, like they rotated right, but like what they should have done is I think they should have bought full armor on the Jet. They should have committed to the fact that they had ulti advantage on Killjoy and they didn't have any like damage ult, right? They just used Sova. Um, None of the other ults are gonna break Killjoy ult, right? So like they have A on lock. They literally have A on lock. They can literally cheat people C B side, and they can play for their knives. They can play a little more aggressively. They can buy full arm on her. They can recon. They can flash. They can flash for the Jet to set up and like create map space. I think, and like actually try to convert a kill or something, rather than like them rotating to A side because they showed some A presence and then literally giving up C, them walking onto C and taking it for free, and then you have your knives out already and you pop them and they're just wasted because they don't convert. Like it makes a lot of sense to try to do as much eco damage as possible even if you don't win the round, so that you can break into their economy. But I don't think she got a single kill with knives, and I think the problem with that again is like they decided to rotate and gamble when really they should have trusted the A setup. Uh, and like again, honestly, if they go A, I think she pops this ult and tries to win it with the eco, because where can they go? Like, are they gonna like push the Killjoy ult? Like, if they push into the Killjoy ult, then theoretically, then you have your Jet knives, then rotate, right? And you can call that push. Like, she should be able to rotate in time for that.
But complexity, they have
And I think they can win that round if they go A. Like, if the enemy decides to go A.
developing.
Or at least if they go C there, they go into the Jet knives, and then maybe Sharky pops off.
Complexity, they haven't been too great at the very beginning of rounds or at the very beginning of takes.
Alright, so let's see this round. This round I'm thinking
Hard retakes.
on Nox's side, there's not too much to worry about in terms of getting orbs. They honestly might want to try to get the C, like if they don't show any C long presence, I would like to see like a recon on C long, oh high to go get that orb, and then if they want, they can play retake A with like a Phoenix ult or B, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does really feel like that, and it's the same thing.
I also even wouldn't hate it if Phoenix decided to go A side and got the orb in A, because they haven't.
I think the Exen has got something cooked
Nah,
up for us
that might be too hard. They actually show like Nox has been showing a lot of pressure on A side, so I'd take that back.
No one's gonna be going for them. Jonah P stuck in garage, and early cage and IM info. And Equinox, EXN's recon.
Yeah, so same thing. Early dart, early drone. This is at this point, I think this should be a telegraphed A take. Like when they hear this drone, like it's a telegraphed A take. They're just playing a retake with the Killjoy ult, which is fine.
I guess that's a good reason for it on the A site. They'll probably drop that in heaven or just outside of A connected to force players back. This gets a little bit dicey.
Yep. So same A take.
They're gonna have to make a dash forward in AGM. He's already got it charged up. It should be a free plant. Once Equinox get the spike down, then
Just playing a retake with the Killjoy ult. That's fine. No problems. Everyone's setting up. There's Cypher, Nox Cypher's looking at flank.
Ready for that lockdown.
There it is.
Indeed, it'll go down.
Retake, take.
Really,
Time.
the post-plant positions are all going to get discombobulated. You're going to see a couple of players go back over towards
The thing is, there's no way that Nox doesn't expect that this was going to happen, right?
Nobody from Complexity has actually gone over towards that position. So again, that's
I don't understand.
Early
No
frags,
way.
but it's a whole lot more work to do. Spike
Are
getting
they this confident?
smoke going up, little bit of a
Wow.
dismiss. Spike
Wow.
actually gone up.
Oh my
Excellent
god,
double.
dude.
Pancakes with more. AGM on the front lines, waiting for a couple of players
Oh
to go
my
through. Does
god,
it
dude.
happen?
Wait,
Fat boy,
Nox just
smoke going up.
dumpstered them there. That should not have happened.
Complexity is
No
actually going
way.
over towards-
No fucking way. What?
So again, you're gonna see a couple of players go back over towards long.
No way.
But interestingly enough, still
Wait,
3
I'm so
over towards short.
confused.
They're just gonna be stuck outside of long. Nobody from Complexity
Bro, the whole entire enemy team is long.
actually gone over towards that position.
Like, okay. What?
So
No way, dude.
that's big to restrict the
Okay.
early frags.
No way.
But interestingly
What?
enough, still 3 over towards short, and they're just gonna be stuck outside of long. Nobody from Complexity has actually gone over towards that position. So again, that's big to restrict. Go back over towards long.
I gotta see what utility they use. I wish I could check. I wish I could check what utility Complexity has right now. Because, like, the thing is, they shouldn't have used that much utility, right? Okay, he has full Phoenix. He has 2 mollies.
About to get chaotic. AGM ready for that
What?
lockdown, and indeed it'll go down.
Bruh!
Really, the post-plant positions are all going to get discombobulated.
He has drone, shock dart.
A couple of players go back over towards long.
What does Jet have? What does
Interestingly enough,
Omen
so
have?
3 over towards short, and they're
Omen
just
has
gonna be
both
stuck outside
smokes?
of long. Nobody from Complexity has actually gone over towards that.
What? What? I don't understand. Okay, so What? I'm so confused. Okay, yeah, this is really bad. Okay, so first problem right now. First problem. So look at where the Killjoy ult radius takes place, and then look at where Omen flashes. Literally, the ult extends up to here. It just popped. At the moment it pops, he reflashes this. This Omen's throwing. There's no way he flashes this when it just popped. They're not going to be there, dude. Your Jet is in a perfect position to scout for you. If you're going to flash, then you can flash when your Jet makes contact. Like, your Jet should be smart enough to, like, make contact, jiggle out, and then you can reflash if she makes contact and sees people there. This is a huge waste of a flash. Huge waste of a flash. That's number one mistake. Number two mistake is... Well, where's the Killjoy? Yeah, number two mistake. This Killjoy has 2 mollies, and you know the pug molly, right? The pug molly goes right into this corner. Are you telling me this Killjoy doesn't fucking throw a molly in the pug spot? Hello? There's no way! There's no way! They're all there, dude! There's no way this Killjoy decided that it was better to check short and try to molly that rather than mollying long. There's no way. There's actually 0% chance that she thinks that. What is the Omen and Killjoy player thinking? No way, dude. Jet is good. This is good by Jet. Like, this is the right place for Jet to be. Like, I wouldn't want her holding this, right? But like, and honestly, even Omen being here to help support this Jet, that's fine too. But like, he should just hold his flash, so he has a better opportunity. But Killjoy, she should be fighting this and like mollying that. So if Killjoy mollies this, right? Okay, Phoenix mollied it, but like Killjoy should still molly it. She should recall. Okay, and then Phoenix dies through the smoke. That sucks. Like, that's actually that really sucks. But like, I don't know, man. Like, they have 3 people leaning sewer side now. The Phoenix was the only person going long side, and like they're 5 long. Like, this Killjoy or someone should be going with him. They saved their Omen flash for this retake, which is really smart by Nox. But like Complexity, like, molly this, dude! You molly this smoke. You molly this smoke. This doesn't happen. And that was a great recon dart by the Sova. I don't know what recon dart that was, but that was crazy. That set him up for 2. I don't care that this fucking AGM guy got 2 kills there. Like, he threw. Like, he and the Omen threw there. Because there should have been a flash for that retake. And there should have been a molly for that smoke. So they threw that round. If they have that utility there, then that round is much easier. Again, it's unfortunate that the Phoenix dies there, but you know, they should be using that utility and spraying these smokes, because they should be expecting them to retake like that. And like, maybe they have something like one person. Like, I don't even think you worry about flank. Maybe one person worries about flank, but that doesn't matter. It's whatever. That was crazy. That was a crazy round. But like, you can see like the small like decision making there, like, makes that round completely different. And then again, on Nox's side, like, that was really good utility. Like, it was really well timed. Like, the thing popped, and they didn't waste any time in trying to take back that space, right? It's not like they waited. Like, if they waited and like took it a little slower, like, maybe that gives the Killjoy on the other team time to actually molly. But they were fast. Like bam, like the Killjoy all popped. Like, Omen flash came out immediately. They pushed the smoke, right, and they shot him. Shot him right in the face. And now they're on eco again.
It does look like they're gonna slow things down. They've already pushed off the shark. Now they're looking for frags elsewhere. Jonah P only good for 1. AGM maybe looking for a trade, but Equinox, they do.
Okay, this is a nice little lurk to change the pacing. I don't hate this.
Find himself in a good position to at least maybe get a couple of exit
Oh.
frags or eco frags.
Oh.
Sheriff had it not been for Tex.
Yeah, that's huge from Tex. AGM
Yeah,
was
smart.
essentially waiting out all that
I mean, that's what
information.
happens. Hey, when you lurk like that, it's a gamble. It's always a gamble.
Information has been communicated back. There's 2 players in the back lines and a big paranoia, but it's Mina.
Okay.
Not gonna be able to get the frag, so instead, fully flashed XP3, shooting into the dark, gets 1 back. Still 5 HP.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this round, even though it looks kind of winnable.
Interact all too much. Potentially depend on a couple of
Because I'm
headshots,
baffled
really
by that last
just
round.
frags in general, but
I'm so baffled by it.
Equinox, this is
There's
the
no way
other
they
one
just
under
played it
their
like that.
belts. Complexity, they haven't had any real chance going into this one, especially because Equinox.
Because the thing is, like, if you have utility, like, you should use your utility. Like once you get into like the higher and higher up you go, theoretically, right, you're gonna have to think more and more about your utility usage and like whether you're using it correctly. But like in that scenario, like they didn't even like the Killjoy didn't even use their utility. Like I didn't even see a Killjoy molly. Like question mark? Like you have that utility to try to lock out and win the round. Like you should use it.
couple of picks,
I don't know.
or just
That's
spreading
upsetting to
false
me.
information to complexity. But always
Oh, that's so
one
upsetting.
person for
All right,
Equinox
this round is
walks the
huge.
area.
Like, Complexity needs this round. They have two huge ultimates. They have the Phoenix Ult and the Sova ult. To be fair though, Noxide. I mean, Noxide. I'm not scared of those ultimates. Like Reyna ulti is not. I mean, people are hitting headshots here, right? So shouldn't be that scary. Maybe it is.
Yeah, not exactly making noise, but just doing.
Oh, this is also another thing. I really do think Sharky should be picking up an op, given that they don't have money for it. But to be fair, if you think back to one of the, I think it was round 3, Sharky popped knives and had a Spectre. So like if she had just like thrown away the Spectre and given it to someone else, and then popped knives, then in my opinion that would have been fine, because then you have to save money for that op. Uh, but like she had the Spectre and pop knives, and like I don't know.
All of the scouting
It felt
possible.
like overkill to me.
Complexity, they end up
Again, maybe
falling
that's
for
greedy
would
on my
be
part,
the
but like
stereotype
I don't
cast
think he
around
needs
them, just
knives.
going for
Like they're
hard
on like
gamble
classics and
rotates,
deagles.
and essentially just trying to
Your Spectre is
stack
fine.
up their squad to just hold down the line. Equinox,
Yeah.
they've been doing a good
And
job.
Mina coming out
Really
with this op,
messing
I
up
don't
the
hate it.
entire format.
You know,
And going
again,
into
I
this
think the
round, I
playstyle
don't
that
think
Nox
we're
is
gonna
going
see
for
too
is
much
like
of that, as of course we have the rifles
kind
back.
of
But
like
this is yet
I don't know.
another one
They're
of
playing
those
it well.
weird holes to be.
They're
One
going
fast
insights. They're taking
rotation
space. They're
barrage,
getting picks.
and of course
They're
the solo
using their
killjoy up
jet
in A.
dashes and stuff aggressively, and Reyna is able to E and get out.
This
So
isn't something too common on the attacking
it's good.
side of Haven, but Mina has been very, very sharp in the
All
operator.
right. So I like the Sova's positioning. He's playing a spot where he can ult basically any site. You know, he's playing B. So if they go B, he can Sova ult B. He's in position. If they go A, he can Sova ult A. C, he's not too far of a rotation away from.
We don't
So
get anything just yet. Sharky playing the spot out towards C long. Nothing really major happening. However, Complexity with this kind of weird passive style in these buy rounds, Equinox are starting to take note of it. They'll start to move their way on up. B site.
okay,
Very,
B
very
take.
enticing for
It's
them.
kind of
Again, have
wild.
that in the back of their mind that
Kind of
A site, though, is
crazy.
going to be the retake site for them. However, in the favor of Complexity.
I personally, okay, I personally have no idea why they're trying to exec B. Maybe they have a really good set play. And it's just they haven't done it yet, right? They've taken these sites and they haven't done the B site. But this could be like a good read by Nox, because like if you notice in almost all their rounds, like they don't have any sort of mid presence. Like Complexity hasn't really put any pressure mid, or tried to like sneak anyone through window. Part of that might be the cam, but honestly, I'm not even sure they've broken the cam. So this could actually be a pretty strong read by Nox, where it's like, okay, yeah, they really haven't even gotten past mid to break the cam. So maybe we have this mid space for free. And when you're attacking as any team, like your attack is always better if you're able to deny information up until you attack, and you're able to burst and get through the choke point, right? That's why if you go A short, generally speaking, you don't want to make too much noise up until like exactly here, because as soon as you get to exactly here, like then you can burst out and you can take sight and overwhelm the person there. Same thing with B, right? Like if you're making noise all the way from window up into B, it gives time for rotations to come in and it makes your B take harder. But if you're able to get all the way up into these cubbies, and then burst immediately, like it's really hard to respond to that, right? Same thing with C long. That's why the C long smoke exists. Like if you're able to actually work up C long, get into the smoke, not hit anyone, die, then flash out and burst sight, like it's a cleaner take because you're denying all that information up until the moment where you actually are taking the site.
Run it back that can be very, very crucial.
All right, smoke comes out on A-Link, flash comes out, bam, they're in. Good shit. Recon comes in, information. Sova needed to convert that, didn't convert it. Now the Omen flash comes out to try to lock out. I really don't like this right here. This is him being scared. Like he's afraid. Like this is a good smoke, but he's afraid to come out and like kill this person and then go back in. And I honestly think he should go out and kill the person and then come back in. And if he dies, well, yeah, that sucks. But I think he should do it.
He actually might go for the swing, but almost gets exposed himself.
Instead, XP comes out. Okay, this makes sense. That's why they bought the op. Op, mid, shoot. Op is pretty good at locking down B. Yeah, like look at this. This is a power angle. Like this is really hard. The drone comes out, so that's good. And then Sharky just fucking pops off, I think. Okay, this was kind of dumb by the Sova. I don't know, like, okay, what was DXN thinking? Like their Omen just died.
And get
Hold on.
maybe a couple of frags. He actually might go for the swing, but almost gets exposed
Okay, maybe he was
himself.
flashed?
XP3 for the
No, he
swing,
wasn't
really
flashed, was
puts
he?
him
Oh
down
yeah,
to
he was. He
something
was.
of
He was
real
definitely
quarters.
flashed.
Sight will be taken now. Jonah P isn't going to commit. He'll try
Let me check
and
that
get
again.
maybe a couple of frags. He actually might go for the swing, but almost gets exposed
Yeah,
himself.
that was a flash. Okay, that's fair. So this is a good Omen blind by XP3 to set up Sharky, even though he dies from the op. If he had utility to smoke this, maybe it should be smoked. Not sure, but he dies for that. Sharky gets 1 kill off that flash, and then this is, I mean, it's hectic, right? But like theoretically, if it was communicated, like they should know the Jet's here, and like this Sova should know, even though he's been paranoid. I think something is happening, or like maybe there's too many comms, so that this Sova doesn't know that the Jet's there. But if there was a better comm there, that Sova should know. Oh, actually, the Sova does check it, and then doesn't see her, and then thinks she's not there, but she is there. So maybe I don't know. That was a little cap.
A little bit more conservative.
That was a little cap. Because if the Sova just maintained that spacing, like 3v4 is not great, but at least he's maintaining this area so that this Jet can focus on this angle, right? But like now that he's dead, like the Cypher is like really stressed out because like he can't hold this and this at the same time. The Sova's alive here, he can still hold this, and like they can, like this Jet can still win it by killing this angle, and then they can collapse on these two people. That Sova dying is like really bad though.
Again, empty pressure.
So yeah, Jet dashes out of that angle because of the Allo drone, so that's good utility usage by Complexity.
Not actually interacting.
Especially since they know that's happening. Cypher gave up his garage hold angle because of Sova dying, and now the garage comes out.
With Equinox straight onto these choke
That's
points,
that.
and instead waiting out their time,
Wham
waiting
bam
for them to get
blam.
into their own enemy lines, and that's how they pick them off. Equinox, they get a little bit too ballsy, but in the end, Complexity.
So yeah, I kind of like the B play there. Like I think it's a good idea with the op to hold out Acon, and then also holding Seacon at the start. Like I think those are really strong angles for the op. Obviously, I just think at the end of the day it wasn't like what happened to text. Maybe that's the question I should be asking. I don't even see what happened to text. Oh my, yeah, bruh, bruh. Okay, text, bruh. Do you see text on the minimap here? Okay, maybe he just loses a gunfight. I don't know. I would have seen his point of view, but like to me, it looks like he's just running forward and then he dies because he goes into the crosshair of fucking the Omen. That's wild. I don't know. I think text, like the Reyna player and the Sova player this round are highly sus. Like I don't know. I don't think they played that right. Like they should be playing off their Jet and supporting him. Like they don't need to take those aggressive angles. Like once that bomb plant is there, like they should be thinking of like how to stay alive, hold angles, and like make sure that like the Jet can isolate that single angle and like get picks off that angle, and then by that way get the map space they want. I feel bad for the Cypher because I think the Cypher is the one person that actually did his job really well there. But his whole team died. What can he do?
Will not have enough credits to suffice another one. So Complexity Sharky will pick up the operator from Mina's body. Not too bad at the moment.
Alright, they got the Sova ult again. I think they like doing this A take with that Sova ulti, where he can just ult this lane. I think it's pretty strong. And if Complexity don't have an answer to it, then why stop it? That being said, they do have their Sova ulti, so that opens up like a counterplay because you can ult the Sova ulti. You can ult as Sova, you can ult the other Sova that's ulting. And that might be worth it. But actually, they're actually doing an adapted style, so this is also actually really nice. I guess it's like it's their A take, but it's a variation because they're sending their Cypher Omen to lurk, and I like this because the Omen has TP. So if this lurk is successful, like the Omen can just leave the Cypher mid after they get the pick, and the Omen can join the team on A, and that puts a lot of pressure. So I like this a lot. I think this is smart. The Sova's a little stressed out. He's cheating over to A, which makes sense again because that is like this is where the telegraph play usually comes from.
In a sense,
this is kind of cool that he's going for this predict play because there were a lot of people sewer right on these takes generally speaking. This time he goes for it and it doesn't actually pay off. So I see what he's going for, right? Because the Complexity is telegraphing that doing that A take, he thinks that there's a lot of people sewer. But Complexity is actually like honestly big braining right here. Like they're one step ahead. They did a variation of the A take, and they actually only sent the Sova Sewer. So that was kind of cool.
Short setups. I mean,
Wow.
And while that's happening, because Complexity know that they don't put a lot of mid presence, right? And it's usually just like one person there, and the Sova was ulting, they actually just walk into B site for free. That's crazy, dude. Complexity
just
is getting kind of
I guess you could say
dumpstered.
early util just to clear up the long area
That sucks.
for a while. But
As I say that, they do that.
now they start to spread out a little bit over throughout the.
Okay, but this is what I was saying too, though. Like now that Sharky has gotten op, like that's really strong, right? If they didn't have the op on that angle, I don't know that he converts that kill. I think they get some chip damage maybe, but like now it's a firefight. Like the op closes out that fight, and destroys this lurk. So to be completely honest, I think Nox ultimately on a macro game sense, like
Tried and true
what do they do
for
here?
a lot of things, and even these early short setups. I mean, Equinox just I guess you could say early
Thinking.
util just to clear up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Nox had the right idea. I just I'm a little hesitant to like have these two people here and to have the A people just wait for them to try to capitalize on a play. Like to be fair, I don't think they obviously they didn't expect the op, right? This is the first round that Sharky's opt. So maybe that's what like changed it. But even if like this Omen Flash came out and this person didn't have an op, like they don't convert a kill here. And then the Cypher, like with that information, tries to like refrag it, and he just gets dumpstered, right? Like he actually just gets dumpstered. Like gunplay wise, dumpstered. So I don't know if I agree with that. I think the timing of it honestly should have been that the A people go first.
Control from that A site. Indeed, it works, but it's at the
But
expense of two players.
we'll see if they close out.
Another frag.
No, yeah,
Deep into
that's
the A
it.
site. Sharky is on another one. Already has a couple of frags for his name. Jonah P with another one. Now it's just down to DXN in a 1v5, and Jonah P with a third. That's just Complexity winning that one out in a flash. As Equinox, they tried to switch up their approach.
Yeah, I mean, you get the idea that Equinox were going for, right? We're going to try and get control of B, cut off as many rotations as
I don't know.
possible. So it's a lot harder.
I feel like the A people should have bursted.
To quickly rotate
A people
from C
burst,
site back to A.
double lurk,
And the idea
Omen
is
TP
for
out,
Equinox and
resupport team.
Complexity, they completely
Cypher
shut down
stays.
some nice shots from Sharky.
They play the same Sova thing. They dodge the Sova ult from the other team. I think that would have worked. Instead, they go for this Omen Flash play, and he just gets opt, and then he gets refragged. Like, obviously hindsight bias, like maybe the Flash would have created more pressure, and like they would have had like a pinch basically, like they would have pinched from this side and that side, but I don't know, man. I don't like that. I didn't like that.
Going into this next round, Equinox.
All right, so you know, Opera doing Opera things, picking a different location. They decide to put pressure on the Opera. They're just gonna fly up C long. Fuck it.
Good dash up, and not only that, but XP3 in such an off angle throws out the paranoia, but Tex, although he gets hit,
Oh!
he's still there.
Oh my god!
Sharky up top, still not able to get the
Okay, wait, so they flew up C long? But then, okay, but the Cypher's lurking. Yeah.
Going into this next round, Equinox.
Yeah, so they fly up C long and the Cypher's lurking. No, the Cypher's gonna C now. Bro, this Cypher is literally at their spawn. I guess that's fine. Okay, that makes sense. Pancakes is making a play because he had ult and he's holding that A site. So it's 3v3. This is fine, but theoretically, Complexity should still win this round because Killjoy ult. Like on a macro scale, like Killjoy ult locks it, like does the same thing, and he has two volleys again. Come on, AGM. Yep, watch that flank. You have an alarm bot there.
The lockdown is up. And not only that, but this time it's a little bit more different because
go.
Jonah P this time is here on the flank, and
oh my god.
He goes right into the lockdown. He catches down Q Fatboy.
Yeah.
Couple of players over towards
Yeah,
lock.
perfect.
Gets himself a third. Make it a fourth.
Good shit, Jonah P.
On his lonesome, on the flank, makes it.
Yeah, I don't like this. So from Nox's side here, what I don't like is that they're Sova ulting here, and they're not all hard committing to site. Like Jack hard commits, she dies. Reyna goes in. Omen Flash comes out. Smoke comes out. And I think at this moment, like, yeah. So like at this moment, yeah, I hate this. At this moment, the Omen's like, oh, it's Doomered because the Jet died first. But like Tex ends up getting 2, right? So you're thinking if the Omen at this moment starts running up to support Tex because he's an E, right? Like maybe he's able to refrag this Jet, but like even if he doesn't, like this Jet ends up whiffing, like with right clicks, so like she gets out anyways, right? And then the Sova, if he's up, like this Omen trades him. Like there's no way this happens, right? Like he dies. And then instead of it being a 3v3, or yeah, 3v3, it is instead a 4v2. But this is on like the Omen player who's like not wanting to hard commit after using his utility to like support his team. He's like quote unquote making a play, and yeah, it's fair. Like the site's open. The only problem again is like the consideration that Killjoy ult exists, and like because Killjoy ult exists, like a take post plant is like not good. Without Killjoy ult, yeah, a post plant is great. Like it's awesome, and they don't have the Sova ult either. So I think the Omen kind of panics and is playing a little selfishly. Like I think he should try to support his random player. And same thing with Sova. Like what is like Sova droning, ulting, 1, 2, 3, and now he's what? So 3 shots are over, and now he's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, rotating out. 4 Mississippi. Yeah. So there's like a 4-second window in which maybe the Sova and Omen could have supported the Reyna player, but you know it didn't happen. So. And then that.
Besides that round, I'm completely aware of it. Equinox, with these rounds that have been strung together by complexity, it was an early.
The thing is, you see this in comp queue a lot too. Like people will die on like a site, and then immediately the team will call like a rotation to the other site. Again, I think this is a big mistake. Like you want to try to like because people in comp queue especially, it doesn't happen as much in scrims, but I guess it still does happen. Like they're like very adverse to like taking gunfights, you know, and like just killing people. But like sometimes you do just want to try to kill people. And I think that scenario is like one of them where like your Reyna's in, like you just want to try to kill the people, and if you kill the people, like you win the round. If you don't, then you don't. Like playing this retake 1A is like greedy because you're trying to play this rotation game where like you get site for free, but you know at what cost? Like you cost your Reyna player. Alright, he's doing this dry out thing, and they have the Opper Sewer. He whiffs twice. Oh no, he legs him. Okay, I mean, so that was a set play. I don't have a problem with that. I think it's fine. It could have converted into a kill, which would have been nice, but it didn't, so it happens.
Pressure back towards the A side, and that's again something that complexity they've been hinting at for a lot.
Oh my god.
There you go, Jonah P. That's just easy for
Oh my god, they didn't re-clear it.
Not a kill. They're going to be a little bit worse aware in a very early Hunter Sewer coming out. Can he get any tags? Sharky looking deep into sewers. Not quick enough on the flick, but he does get a tag on the text. Not a kill, but a lot of damage done. And
so like, I like what Complexity is doing here. Okay, so like this is what I'm seeing at least from these two teams. Like Nox, they're actually like very macro based. Like they have really good macro. Actually no, I take that back. They have really good macro at the start. But I think mid round, like in like throughout as like things develop, like if they don't have something like they're not able to adapt is all I'm saying, right? So like this is one of the first rounds I think Complexity has actually put like some initial set play pressure on Nox, and like you can tell like as soon as that happens, like their entire game plan is like thrown off the fucking wire. Like they're so like Nox is so used to this Owl Drone clearing the suicide and like making sure everything's free, but like the Sova ult
they don't even know it.
kind of like messes up the mojo, and then this Jet opposite, right? So it doesn't clear this corner, and like because of that, like they literally just don't clear this. Like how can they not clear this, man? Like the Owl Drone did not clear this corner. How can you not clear it? You have to clear it. It's crazy. But it's just like, you know, I guess they don't clear it because they're used to the Owl Drone being able to clear it, and so they're playing as if it is cleared because they Owl Droned. And so they're not adapting to their scenario, the actual game that they're playing, because they're used to this quote unquote like set play, attack, execute, and like everything working out as like it should work out. And when it does work out, it's beautiful, it's well played, it's very textbook, and it's awesome. But in this scenario, right, the enemy team put some early pressure, and so it kind of like messed up the exact pacing of it, to the point where it's like now they just forget to clear this corner, like question mark.
Oh, there you go, Jonah P. That's just easy for him. The
Yeah.
1-2 combo.
And now they're
AGM
like
Sharky
falling
also here
apart.
for a couple of frags, but even then,
Oh my god! And
despite
then
being
Q
down
Fat Boy
in
doesn't even
shorts,
refrag that guy.
and really CFB cute Fat Boy would have to make his
It's
way
upsetting.
right into A with a 1v5. XB3 shuts it down early, and like I mentioned before, that scoreline from the 3 to 5, well, it was just bound to go to 5 to 5. Equinox, however, they still can't buy out. Their investment last round was a little bit too steep, so we're still going to see a couple of pistols. In Complexity, they don't seem like they're stopping at all with this close choke point holds.
Yeah, the defense from Complexity has been great. A really great understanding of the map control.
Okay. No important else on board.
Trying to adjust accordingly.
Picking this
Jonah P,
Odin,
this
trying to get the
could
early
tear
pick
them
here.
to
That's fine.
shreds.
Don't care.
Actually doesn't do anything to Equinox. They hear the Odin and they're like, we don't want a piece of that. They see the
I don't
bullets
know.
coming as well, and yeah, no
Complexity A is actually pretty weak
that one, but like you said,
when they don't
Equinox,
have Killjoy ulti.
no real
And
guns
even
for
when
them
they
in
had
this
that Killjoy
round.
ulti and she didn't
I feel
molly,
like a
like
give me, we say, in
I
most
feel like
scenarios,
going
you
A
never
is
know with a pistol
definitely
play.
fine
Got
here.
XP3,
I think he whiffs his dart.
Equinox,
Because
no
that
real
dart's,
guns for
yeah,
them
he
in
whiffs
this
his,
round.
he whiffs his dart because of the smoke. So, this is something that sucks because if he had done the right dart, then this wouldn't have happened.
I feel like a give me, we say,
But
for
yeah, it
in
happens. Like
most
he whiffed his
scenarios.
dart,
But you never
and
know
then he
with
tries to clear the corner,
pistols
and
that
then he
got
just,
XP3 that one. But
did
like
he
you
get
said,
text killed
Equinox,
because of that?
no real guns for them.
Looks like
This
it.
round is, I feel like a give me, we say, for
Yeah, it's just like it's bad timing because he doesn't know how to line up his arrow because this arrow is supposed to go through and actually clear all of garage, but he doesn't know how to hit the lineup when the smoke's there. So that's something you should practice. And then it's just ironic because like the smoke fades as he shoots it, and then Tex dies for it. So that's this round. This is like the Sova not knowing his like utility, like how to properly line it up.
They've been
I don't care. They're dead. They lose that
That
round.
last
This round, let's see. So last round,
execution is about to go down.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I would
Like
say that
strat
Equinox
caller,
is
IGL guy
Focus
should just
has
choose whatever
also
he
been
feels
in a
they
really
should choose
great
this round.
rate.
They don't have
You
anything
kinda
important
leave
on the
mid
board for
open
ultimates, so
and
they,
you
they
know
don't
how
have to
to
make
move
any
with 2
adjustments.
10%.
Same
At
thing with
least
the
in
enemy team.
attempts
There's
from
no like
Equinox
extra
to take
considerations
that
to
mid
make.
control.
It's just
And
like
one
whatever you want to play,
A,
however you want to take the
site
map and
taking
fight it.
completely failed, unfortunately, but that's because they tried to attempt, I think, too much pressure towards mid. They lost early control there. They lost players very early on, and things kind of just fell around them. This seems to be a little bit different.
Oh.
Definitely a lot of emphasis
Eat
towards
my
the mid
burrito
position.
that I never ate.
He
Cap.
recognizes he's not going to take the early peek. You do see Complexity getting a lot of info down towards A. They see nothing. Again, they'll be playing retake. That's the theme, at least for Complexity's defenses. We don't need to worry about the A site. We've got the retake ability. We've got what we need to take the site. Now, Mina, Recon Bolt goes in, and he's going to hide in the smoke. He goes for the spray, but Jonah P does recognize that AGM with a lovely dink.
I don't know what Nox are doing. I think they're like Mojo's like thrown off or some shit. Because what it looks like to me is they're trying to take Garage and have their Jet lurk in through mid, which is fine. They put some pressure on A, but Complexity read that it's the Cypher, and they know that the Cypher always plays on lurk, and so they just rotate off, which is really smart by them, right? Like, if there's anything that I'm seeing, is that Complexity was not good at the start, because Nox had some really good set plays, like really good set plays. But now that Nox has kind of done these set plays, like they're out of like it's too telegraphed. Like how telegraphed is it that their Cypher always fucking lurks, and then this round they put a Cypher camera in sewer, so they're probably not gonna get away, and they gamble, and they're right. I mean, Phoenix takes heaven location, that's fine, that's safe, right? But like when you're playing heaven location on A, you're just there to like get info, you know? Like you're just there to get info. And meanwhile, they drone through garage. The Omen flashes as a counteract, right, to the drone, which is, you know, safe, but like fine. Drone wears out. Paranoia wears out. Neither team has decided to do anything because the drone didn't get a tag, and then the flash, you know, was just to counteract the drone. So we're at a standstill. Sova on complexity tries to make a play with that, and he gets info that the Jet's there. And like the thing that the Jet should do, like the drone's gonna spot like the cloudburst is good because it's defensive, right? It cancels out the flash, but he gives away like both of the players would give away their locations. And so now he should accept that like just like in the paranoia drone scenario where like those two pieces of utility essentially cancel each other out, he should just same thing here. Like both pieces of things cancel each other out, just like reset the pacing. But instead of resetting the pacing and just like, you know, dashing backwards and out, because his team's there to support him if the Sova swings mid, right? Like right here, like the Omen's watching. Oh, he hides. But he should dash back here. Like he knows that the Sova's peeked out, so like he should just dash backwards, and then the Omen on his team can like reswing to like watch him in that little animation where he like might get shot and swung by the Sova. And then everything's fine. It's reset. But instead, he like tucks into left corner, gets dinked, and then continues shooting this guy and trying to like retrade frag when it doesn't really do anything. He just dies. And now it's like, okay, we're down our Jet. She doesn't even have dash. Like she can't even dash into side if she wanted to. And they're gonna try to re-hit A, but like all of them are like middle side because the Jet put pressure there.
You put up a smoke and that completely blocks it off. But even
I don't know. I hate this.
The speed of it ended up giving away his position. So complexity almost.
I don't know. I think they were trying to do garage take, but they didn't end up doing it because of the paranoia.
So this time complexity actually has a couple of players in those back lines. But once again, Equinox has full control. 4 players on site.
All right. Well, we'll see if they win the 4v5 retake.
Back over towards long. He is now stuck into a 1v1 with
All right. He loses that fight. They lose.
3 players remaining. 1 person on site.
Unless some big clutch moment happens, they lose. Wait, what happened? Wait, I'm so confused. Wait, what? Bro, I'm confused. Okay, I guess 2 of them are low. But it's 5v3. Oh, this. Oh, this.
Even a little bit of a teleport for XP3 back over towards long. He is now stuck into a 1v1 with DXN, and he wins.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Okay.
Now in we go. Now it's just pure chaos. AGM has to try his hardest to really just be the solo player and simply can't get it done. Jonah P now 1v2 needs at least some piece of information. 28 HP.
Bro, I don't understand. How are they losing these rounds?
4 players on site.
Okay, first thing, after the Omen gets this, okay, let me see the Omen utility.
But once again, Equinox has full control.
I gotta look at the Omen utility. Okay, he has smoke in 4 seconds. So after he gets this kill, the Omen should be smoking off sewer, like immediately. Like he got this kill, he should be smoking off sewer, and just chilling. Like he should hold an angle now, because he's taken aggro, he's taken pressure. So he should use utility of his team and then hold and stay alive. If he stays alive here, right, he stalls more time for his team to take a 4v2 retake. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. I don't know why he does that TP. He should just stay in that corner, even if it's uncomfortable, and wait for his team to retake and throw out that smoke. Like that smoke can be massive. It can lock down one of the lanes, whether short or long. It doesn't matter, right? But it can lock out one of the lanes, and then his team can start his retake. The Phoenix kind of gets gayed because Phoenix goes for this you know, jump so he doesn't take damage, and Tex just happens to be there. Like technically this Phoenix should win that gunfight, technically, but you know he loses, so unlucky. Meanwhile, the Omen player on default kills another person. Yeah, so why do they have 3 people heaven? They should have the 1 person Phoenix heaven, and everyone should be going out here, and someone should be staying alive, smoking this, so the people that are coming out here don't have to fight this lane. And then, if the people are coming out here and the Phoenix drops like that, right? Like, bam, okay, yeah, let's say Phoenix dies, it doesn't matter. Like, this Reyna E'd, like, the people coming out here just fucking kill this Reyna for free, right? So, in that scenario, that Reyna dies. Nox only doesn't get another person because they're an upper heaven.
Tex pancakes, all snatching frags. Now in we go.
I don't know,
This is
man.
pure chaos.
Like,
AGM
what?
tries
And then
hard.
AGM is just
Arcus might
alone.
just be the solo
And
player.
why is he opping? Like, he
Simply
swapped
making
guns with
Jonah
Jet,
P
that's
now
fine.
1v2.
You know, but the
He's
Jet
really
just dies
starting to get some
heaven instead of
information.
going, like,
28
normally and
HP.
just killing the
This
Reyna.
trade will do it to
Like,
him.
they're throwing.
There's the
Like,
Tex that we know and
if
love.
they gotta pick
3
on
KB
the
farm all
Nox
around.
Jet, like,
Again,
all they
he's
have to
just
do to win
really
this round is
starting
trade
to gain
evenly.
his
In fact, they didn't even have to do that because the Omen got a fucking 1v1 kill and it was 5v3. Like, they can even not trade evenly and still win. But they didn't even trade at all. They just, like, all tried to jump out of heaven and died from heaven. Which, to me, doesn't make sense if they can just path one out of heaven and have their Omen smoke and then, you know, just clear the left right, you know?
it on site,
Man.
taking on those interactions as complexities started to spill their way onto site. And not only that, with just a good head on his shoulders, keeping it swiveled. In Equinox, they found their way back. It's tied up 6-6, Sully.
Yeah, that is as close as we can get in a half. I mean,
This burrito hits diff.
5 rounds essentially.
All right, so let's see how Complexity play their offense, because it's 6-6.
Back for Complexity. So again, as close as you can get it. Complexity look really good on the defense. Now here on the attack is possibly where things can change. Equinox running that cipher.
See the
It does at
loadouts.
least give me the feeling that they're going to be very aggressive.
There's no way, man. What? Do you think Jonah P is that much of a carry that they will buy a deal for him and he buys Light Shield and Utility?
If Cute Fappa will be vying for a lot of control here on
No way.
site in Complexity, but things can change. Equinox running that cipher, it does at least give me the feeling that they're going to
Bro,
be very aggressive.
the Killjoy?
Will be vying for a lot of control here on that A site.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, yeah.
I mentioned in the pregame that we
Holy
haven't seen
shit,
them
though.
play too much of Haven, right? It's been some time since
Wow.
they played in an event. But
This Killjoy bought nothing except nothing. This Killjoy bought only a Sheriff for the Sova player. That's a statement, dude. She's going to sit with this turret for the whole entire round and lock this site.
clearly the time off has given them so much room to work
Or hold window control. That's fine. Turret, window control. She is the cipher. That's so funny. And then classic, utility, ghost. So complexity, I don't think is because they don't have the Reyna. So like in Nox's setup, they had the jet dash in and the Reyna follow up as like the secondary frag, right? So the pistol is there. But in this scenario, it's the Phoenix that's first in, and Jet's actually the refragger. So we're not gonna expect Sharky to actually dash in. And if she does dash in with a ghost, we're gonna mault.
In complexity, I mentioned in the pregame that we haven't seen them play too much of Haven, right? It's been some time since they played in an event, but clearly the time off has given them so much room to work, or a lot of time to work on their mistakes, and they perfected it. They looked amazing on the defense. Now here on the attack, again, this is where things can get interesting. Equinox, a little bit of control fought for by Cute Fatboy with an early cam drop towards a long. He'll get a lot of info if anyone crosses. So this allows, again, kind of the same dynamic the Complexity had, where they can stack players more or less to mid into the C site with all this info. But Cute Fatboy,
Okay.
for a nasty surprise, is 2 players.
So I like this a lot. They kept their Killjoy in window side, checking garage and mid, and had their turret watching A side to see if there was any mid pressure or like a mid push. They didn't see any of that, right? So they decide that going to A is strong because there's no mid presence, which means you can probably make the hypothesis that A side is weak. And that is true, right? Because there's 3 stacked onto this side and only 2 on this side, right? And obviously this is default, but like it's still good to confirm and like make sure that whatever your hypothesis is like actually accurate, or like, you know, get more data that is, so you're more confident. So I like this. They get the info that there's not a mid push or garage push, and they walk A.
3 now with AGM, slowly but surely starting to creep their way up.
They drone to C to put some fake pressure. And they do the fake C smokes to try to pull rotate, and ironically it works. So again, this is like the big thing. This happens in Pugs, and I guess it's happening here. Like, I think better teams will not over rotate like this. Like, this cipher should know that you can't play off information like a fake smoke and just leave A. Like, you should anchor A.
No noise over towards the A side.
I mean, I guess he goes to heaven, but like he's gonna get smoked out. So this is perfect. This is perfect by complexity. And this cipher is like hard trolling.
Right into the smoke heaven.
Like this, they just gave A side. Like this is so frustrating to me because this is literally what Pugs do. Pugs will see a fucking smoke and rotate because they think it's an exec, and they'll get debated, and then now they're fucking putting their whole entire team into retake scenario.
Deja vu.
Like, what did that Cypher even have, dude? What was his loadout?
In complexity,
The Cypher, classic, light armor, so like 2 cages and a trip, right? He trips mid. I guess he only has 2 cages.
my stem drop.
Alright, maybe that's ass.
Down has
Maybe that
been
Cypher should have run
adjusted,
away.
walks right into the
Maybe he's
smoke,
not
Kevin.
defending for
This
Jack.
is all theirs. I mean, it feels like deja vu. The roles have reversed here, Sully.
Spike down as well. Complexity have so much time to back away for this retake, and those shock darts, they will force at least Ojai out of position, but they don't take the swing.
He doesn't even have a retake
Smoke
cam.
drop by Sharky.
Did it get broken?
On a detention.
Cute fat boy and long. He'll get a lot of
Oh.
info if anyone crosses. So this allows
Bro, he has a long
cam.
cam. Huh? He's deciding to play retake? I'm so confused.
But cute fat boy is in for a nasty surprise as 2 players.
No way.
With AGM, slowly but surely starting to creep their way up A long now.
Bro, that cam sees everyone.
This is good attention from Jonah P. At least early owl drone. No noise over towards
Bro,
the A site, and
Nox is literally so
play on
confused.
the solo player on
The drone and then the
Already
breaking of the
backed
cam
up.
like confuses them
Not
so
really
hard.
Adjusted, walks right into the smoke, Kevin. And this is all theirs. I mean, it feels like deja vu. The roles have reversed.
I
here,
don't know.
Sully.
We'll see how they do retake. Maybe Nox is insane at retake.
So much time to back away for this retake, and those shock darts, they will force at least Ojai out
Good
of
jet
position, but
smokes.
they don't take the swing.
Lock out.
But the smoke drop by
Get your team a
Sharky,
little
so
more
good
time.
coordination
Play
from
cross.
Complexity. But
Perfect.
Equinox, all 5 players grouped up. And this is where
Dart
things
comes
get
out.
a little bit spicy now.
Flashed.
Oh, high. Great position, just taken away. Least information
Okay.
Sharky,
Okay, I like it. I like it.
Pancakes all getting frags. Jonah P, this is a big position for him, but he just needs the information to actually execute onto it. XP3 tries to be the
I like it. Okay,
This is where things
so this is my problem with
Ojai out of position, but they don't take the
complexity,
swing with the
and
smoke
this is
drop
what I
by
like about
Sharky.
Nox. What I like about Nox, they didn't do this stupid thing where they had 3 heaven, and they all tried to drop from heaven. They just fucking, pretty much all 5 came out of this choke and like started shooting them, right? I like that a lot. That was good. User utility, the Sova even doesn't even dart from heaven, he just darts from here and like wings it like to over here or something. I don't know, I can't see exactly where it goes. But this is good. They just come out, choke together, and they, try to frag out. Killjoy is in a good position. Like, when this turret makes contact, she shoots the people coming out. So they have a triple cross, right? They have this double cross and the triple here. What I don't like is the Sova. Sova's watching heaven, right? Maybe I do like the Sova. He has to watch heaven.
Can get a little bit spicy now.
I don't know. This is really smart by Nox. Like, by not putting anyone heaven, they make it so that this Sova is isolated and is doing nothing. If they had more info, or like if this was smoked, then I would have liked. I think, like, honestly, maybe the Sova and the Killjoy trade positions. Maybe that doesn't make sense because Sova has a deagle. Like, complexity is expecting someone to go heaven so that this deagle player can own him, because deagle from this range is like OP, right? But I don't know. This is really, like, maybe it was intentional, maybe it wasn't, but like this is really good by Nox to literally have no one go heaven because it isolates this person, so they only have a triple cross. And remember, like, this Killjoy didn't buy anything other than a fucking classic. So like, I don't know. If these roles were reversed and like the Sova had actually gambled on Sewer side, like he would have had so many more frags here, like so many more, right? But like because he's holding heaven and they don't put anyone heaven, like this round gunplay wise, like is all dependent on this Phoenix and Jet, and the Phoenix doesn't get any. He just gets fucking jumping right clicked. And this is post patch, by the way. Fuck this Cypher.
High. Great position, just taken away. Least information.
Yeah, and then AGM just gets doinked because he doesn't have armor, and it's a classic against a fucking ghost, and it's Reyna. And then Sharky lost his cross, so like, yeah, so that's that, you know? Like, this situation, if they win it, like, great, like, they clutched, but it's very unlikely.
Jonah P, this is a big position for him, but he just needs the information.
And Omen was watching Lurk the whole time.
XP3 tries to be the hero, but all too much information over towards that angle. Equinox, they were almost certain that
So, not bad.
split up between short and
That was
long,
actually a really good
and
retake by
indeed,
Nox.
they got the gamble
No cap.
right.
They
Equinox
did what they
looking
needed to do.
around
They cleared the
back up.
corners, used
Actually,
utility,
really
traded
good
out,
post plan.
and they isolated the angles so that they didn't take unnecessary fights they didn't need to take. Like, they didn't have a Lurker, and the Lurker didn't take a 1v1 with the Omen. They didn't have a Heaven player, so they didn't take a 1v1 with the Sova. They just literally all piled on the site, and they dumped
You're
them.
right, you're right.
But I beg to differ. I beg to differ. But regardless, Equinox, yeah, that aggression is what they need. Complexity completely forced
We love
on
it.
the site, and I think it's due in
It's a
part
good
to the
retake.
shock darts that were thrown very early by DXN to force Sohei out of position and have them commit to these early fights. Now, complexity completely forced out of the sight, and I think it's due in part to those shock darts that were thrown very early by DXN to force
Alright,
Sohei
Force again.
out of position and have them
Fighting
commit
for
to these early
economy.
fights.
Bet.
Now, complexity, Gus, they've gone for a full buy again to try and compete against Equinox here.
It's more of a force more than
My God. Worked.
anything in complexity.
Them commit to these early fights. Now, complexity, Gus. They've
So
gone for a
Killjoy
full buy
on like hard lurk. Turret watching this. Him watching C.
again to try and compete
Homan
against
mid
Equinox.
presence and then the tree. So they're kind of like keeping this like 1-1-3 kind of setup. I think honestly they just win the gunfights here. I mean, not much to say. They just kind of fly out and take gunfights. And now that the Killjoy lurk is like got that info that they're not C, they take C. So I mean this is fine. I like this. This is like pretty textbook. They had the duelist try to pop off in like entry somewhere, and then their lurker takes the other site. Waiting for the team before contact. And now the team's here, they make contact, and it's perfect. Well played!
Spike going down in complexity. Not exactly
And see, this is
the
something you
best
can easily do in like, in your comp games too. Like, if you have a Sentinel Lurker, like, all of the Lurker has to do is like, play that site, have your duelist go in, like, make pressure, like, whatever kills you get, and if you don't get it, you don't get it, right? But then your other person says, hey, look, they rotated off, come back, right? And the people that can come back, usually the support staff, so the Omen, so Smoke Initiator, come back, and this person tries to go put pressure, and get map control, and, you know, get another pick.
positions in terms of util.
He gets locked out by
Gonna
the
have to
smoke, so
depend on trying
it's
to hold
fine. I
back
mean, it's
these
3v3.
back points.
Yeah,
We don't care.
Tex really took him alive here. He's got a
This
double
could be
flag
dangerous.
at the early fight, but he doesn't go for the flash.
Oh,
He doesn't
no.
expect it
Timinged.
either. Tex with his back turned. Huge frag is now they've got control out towards
Tough.
Like you said, they can play around this long position. DXN, he's tagged down low.
Again, I like this too. You'll see this all the time in comp queue. It'll be like a 2v1 scenario or 2v2 scenario, and one person will have like a key ult, like a Raze ult or a Sova ult or something, and they won't pop it, or like a breach ult and they won't pop it, and then they'll lose the round. Like, bro, every round is so important. Like, if it's 2v2 or if it's 2v1 or whatever, like, just fucking pop the ult and like secure the round. Like, guarantee it, right? Like, this is huge. Like, this is smart. This is so good. Like, Jonah P, I don't know, man. This man's cracked out. Perfect. Why risk losing a 2v2 when you can just ult them and win? It's perfect. It's good.
You gotta be kidding me, Jonah P. I mean, it's
People in
just one
comp
of those
queue, dude, they
situations where
literally,
you
like,
see
they're
a
so
hard
greedy on their
shooter,
ultimates
you see a
sometimes.
gang planted
Like,
on
either they
C,
pop them too
you
soon
more
and they
or
get no
less
value
know
from it,
what's
or they
about
just
to
never
go
use
down.
them and it's
Waiting
like,
for the
it's like,
spike to
bro,
get
just use it.
moved.
It's like, if it closes out the round, it's worth it.
Pulling
Just
out
use
the
it.
Hunter's
Oh my
Fury
god.
and just going right through a wall.
Hey,
No.
yeah, yeah.
No, Jonah P said screw that
So, huge round.
that entire stereo.
Winning ecos. We love it. This round, DNX should try to get the orb on A long. That actually might be what they're going for. Because if he gets the orb and then dies, he'll have Silva ulti for next round at a minimum, right? He doesn't even need a kill. And that'd be huge. Having Silva ulti in the next gun round would be awesome.
To fight it immediately.
And even if he doesn't, like, it's like, planning for next round is great, but there's also the potential that, like, if he gets a kill, right, and the orb, then he'll have the ulti and, like, they could actually win this round. So, but that just depends on the round. Flash out a window, get mid control, tags up the Reyna. That's great. Holding this angle. Bulldogs coming up.
This is a very tricky position to be in as well if you're Equinox.
Did they get the orb for him? Silva gets the
but
orb,
in this
right?
game in
Yeah,
general,
he's
as
yoinking it right
Equinox,
now.
they're up
No way.
against the ropes.
No, he's not yoinking it.
This is a very tricky position to be in as well.
Yep,
if
so
you're
they
Equinox
did
now,
their thing.
because
They
this
got
is
the orb
what
on
it
A,
feels like to be
I
a
assume,
guaranteed
for
lead,
the Sova.
but
He goes to heaven to play
otherwise,
retake,
depending on setting,
because
of
they're
course,
a retake
who knows,
gods.
maybe Equinox
And
takes
now they have this
pop
weird
off, let his
3
Reyna
trio
share
shift walking to C.
creeping around the
I like
garage.
it.
Complexity taking
I
things
like
slow.
how
Since
Nox is playing their
Gaming
defense. I like it a lot more than their offense. Like, again,
plays
the way that I'm
slow,
getting is
and
like Nox is very like
both these
textbook.
teams have immense
It's just
respect. I
that
mean,
textbook on
you don't
offense is a little
understand
more
the
predictable,
firepower on
whereas
Equinox
textbook on
today.
defense I feel
With
like
his
is,
pistols
you know,
and
doing these sorts
complexity,
of like
full respect
more
for taking
active,
things
proactive
slow, trying to feel out
map control things, which I like a lot.
Equal a death here in Tex. He does have a nice angle. As they will walk into the site, but can this share of Sing? 45 seconds left now as complexity. They look to set their
Okay.
sights here on
Good smoke.
B. Early recon bolts.
Flash.
Trying to
Comes
let
out.
it, smokes down.
Doesn't
Tex
connect.
doesn't get anything, and it's a slight ding for Pain Cakes. Tex,
Eh.
I don't think there's much he can do here. He'll have to wait for his team. If not that, he'll be going down first. So complexity with a
I don't know,
spike
man.
round.
I
It's
feel
all
like
about
Nox is like
utilizing the damage
disjointed.
to keep so far
Like
5 players alive.
maybe it's their. I don't know, man. This round was it felt disjointed. They're all dying one by one. Like they should at least try to get guns out. You know, like that's not good. Like yes, this was their eco, but like again, this is not good. Like they're all kind of just dying one by one, and like you can look at the HP values of complexity. They're not high. Like Omen's low, Sova's low, and Jet's tagged up. Phoenix is tagged up as well. Like if they play together here, they can get at least a couple guns out. And like at the end of the day, getting a couple guns out is like again keeping the enemy economy low, and also farming up ult points for yourself. Right. So anyways, DNX did get that orb as predicted, so they got Silver Vault. That's good. So we'll see how they play. And then also look, like if they had a little more money, like let's say DNX got a kill, like that's full armor and then like 2 shock darts. So like you can't say that getting those kills aren't important even though it's just an eco. Like it's so important. And people in CompQ all the time, they just kind of like treat these eco rounds as like throwaway rounds, where it's like they're not trying to play to win it or like to get kills when you really should be, and you really need to actually if you want to maintain pressure on the enemy.
Is more or less just a hot spot for defenders. I mean, it's
And like
literally
even Nox is like doing
central
it, you know? I
point
fucking hate
of
it.
the map.
They're
It's
like a
the
team that
easiest spot
scrims and they're
for you
not
to be
taking
able
their
to
eco
easily
rounds
rotate
seriously.
between the
Are
two
you
sides.
kidding?
So you saw 2 players from
God,
complexity
imagine not taking your
sitting
eco
around
rounds
those areas.
seriously.
You saw one in
Gotta be
B,
capping
you saw
me.
one over towards garage, really trying to stay around that backside of it, and really ended up working out.
Alright,
By the
complexity.
time that Equinox actually made their slow push over towards
C-pop.
site, you already had the first 2 contacts. So really, Equinox getting a little bit out of their element, not having the smokes. Not
I like this. They have like 3 bulldogs, right? So they're not even a smoke C long. That's like if someone peeks C long, they're just gonna fucking shoot them. I like it.
the right
And they just walk up.
to cover up those back
Got Phoenix
lines,
ulti.
and
Phoenix
that
gonna
ended
ult
up
in.
not even giving
And shit on some
the
kids.
full opportunity to
Go.
get control of sight.
Flash
So
out.
now instead,
Bam,
Complexity,
standard.
They find themselves in a position where they might be at
Clearing
a
sight.
disadvantage
Breaks the
with
eyeball.
guns,
Doesn't get to the fucking cipher, which is good by Tex, right? Because and again, this is another huge thing, right? Oh my god. How many times in a CompQ game the Phoenix ult is coming and everyone just fucking runs away from it, right? But look at this.
to get control
Look at
of sight.
the
So
patience
now instead,
and understanding of
Complexity,
this
they
man.
find themselves in a
He's
position
literally revealed.
where they
Like, this guy is literally about to buff fuck him, but he trusts his teammate, haha,
might be at a
to bail him
disadvantage
out.
with the gun.
And he does. He literally bails him out just in the nick of time. And because of that, they're able to actually defend C-Site instead of playing it for retake, like you see so fucking often in CompQ. Like, in CompQ, like, this guy's fucking running for his life, this guy's also running for his life, and he's not even on C-Site. And then you're playing C retake, and C retake when the enemy plants here and they can double up and play post plant long is fucking so hard. It's like so hard to fucking take back, right? And if they smoke, you just get sprayed through smoke anyways. So it's like, so anyways, this is good, right? This is really good, and obviously they should be doing that because they're playing on a team and they should trust each other. But you know, in pugs, you should honestly do the same thing, because otherwise you play a C retake and you're probably gonna lose the round anyways, right?
But they're not
Like you
stopping
died
at
to the
all.
Phoenix Assault, you lose the round. You don't die to the Phoenix Assault and you give up C-Site, you probably lose the round anyways. So
The run it back has to get ran all the way back to long.
regardless,
Now instead, Complexity,
let's see what
they
happens
find
next.
themselves in a position where they might be at a disadvantage with the guns, but they're not stopping at all. The run it back has to get ran all the way back to long, but it's enough to make space. AGM on the front line takes down Tex, but even then, cute Fat Boy and Pancakes with a rotation back. That's 3 frags in between the 2 of them. Jonah P with another one. Now it's a 3v2.
Oh my god, Jonah
Cute
P's
Fat
is
Boy's
better,
still
dude.
waiting. Jonah P, welcome
Oh my
back
god, Mina
to the
whiffed.
frag show. 3 kills for Jonah P.
Oh no, Jonah
Three
P's is
frags
better.
at all. The run it back has to get ran
I
all
mean,
the
so
way back
on
to
both sides,
long,
this is pretty
but
textbook,
it's
you know.
enough to make
Like a
space.
lot of
AGM on the
things
front line
happened in
takes
this
down
round, but it's
Tex,
pretty
but even then,
textbook.
cute Fat Boy and Pancakes
It's just
with a
I don't know.
rotation
Jonah P's just better, dude. Like this is a 1v1 gunfight, right? Like either one of them can win it. Pancakes did kill 2 previously, so like good on him. But like he loses the gunfight, unfortunate. Regardless, 2v3, and like they still have like quote unquote site control. Like it's still fighting for site.
another one. Now
But Jonah P dumpsters the other Sova, so yeah,
it's a 3v2.
holding the angle, holding the smoke, and dumpsters the cipher,
Jonah P, welcome back
and then Mina whiffs.
frag show. 3 kills for Jonah P. He holds down the rotation from Equinox.
So nothing wrong necessarily on either side. Like it was pretty textbook, like pretty normal round. It's just like gunplay wise, Jonah P is actually just a fragger. He's just a fragger, dude. What can you do if the other team just is better at fragging?
when
That's
things
like
are
the
getting
difference
dicey,
between
he
silver and
comes out of
radiant, right?
nowhere.
It's
And
like,
you said, out of nowhere,
yeah, you
welcome
can
back to
change
the
all
faction.
the
Jonah P
gameplay and
with a
macro
3K
stuff,
in
but
that
like at the
round
end of the day,
pulls complexity out of a sticky
radiants
situation
are
and
just
puts
gonna
them on
frag
top
you
of the
better
podium
than
for the round.
silvers.
When Equinox, it's an issue that has been plaguing them all series
Tough.
long, and there's no answer for it. There's no cure. Pulls
Here, I didn't look at what was happening this round. They're on eco. Yeah, they're on eco, so anything.
complexity out of a
Just
sticky
don't
situation
feed.
and
Play
puts them on top of
textbook.
the podium for the round. When Equinox, it's an issue that has been plaguing them all series
You'll
long, and
notice
there's no
the
answer for
complexity
it.
team
There's
is
no
like pretty
cure.
grouped up,
Jonah P
right?
is everywhere.
They're
There's
not
nothing you
they're
can do
not
about it
separating. They're
currently
not
for
lurking.
Equinox.
They're not doing any of that. You'll see that in
Not
comp
at
queue all the
all. I
time.
mean,
It'll be an eco
they put
round, and
everything
some guy will
into that
go and
round.
try to lurk.
They had to.
The
It
Killer's
was
not
their
lurking here. He's
opportunity to
holding. There's a
really take the
difference.
score back
Lurking
into
is
their
like
favor,
pushing up
Sully.
that space. Holding means you're playing like this. And,
Line. Alarm bot here to prevent Tex from getting
I mean,
aggressive.
to be fair, he did give up the angle for a second and almost died to a classic.
To their favor, Sully.
Like that wasn't that was not a deagle, right?
Is everything on the line. Alarm bot here to prevent Tex from getting aggressive. AGM scrapes
So I don't know. AJM should have honestly just held the angle, but he kind of gave it up and like looked at garage for a second for no reason. I don't know why, but that cost him some HP. Could have been a clean kill, but it wasn't. And then on text, you know, he pushed on eco round, which you know Complexity was expecting, so free kill for nothing. I mean, he did damage, but like honestly, he shouldn't have done damage. Like in a different world, AGM's actually just holding the angle the whole time and just gets an instant headshot when like Tex walk peeks it, and so he's not damaged. And so in alternate universe, Pancakes doesn't actually kill AGM here. They still have 5 guns alive, and it's just like a very flawless, clean eco round. But because AGM does that, he ends up taking a little damage, and it's like not a clean kill. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Sharky with that space in the back will prevent anyone from swinging out from defender spawn. Shock darts to try and delay the spike, but in the 2 versus 4, the odds are going to be very, very heavily stacked against Equinox in this position.
Spike planted.
It was a decent setup in that back line too. I would have liked to seen Pancakes a little bit better of an angle in a sense, because Sharky was only able to get that back line kill purely because Pancakes didn't have line of sight of it. So it's going to be small micro interactions like that, which we're definitely not going to see in the rifle rounds, especially with players getting a little bit more aggressive than usual. But it's small things like that that Equinox wish they could have back. That was a second opportunity to potentially get some economy back onto
yeah. So I don't know. I don't think Nox played that well at all.
It is just complexity against an eco, which we can't look too deep into.
It's not looking hot for them either.
This next one is going to be a lot
but
bigger.
They do have the naked op now.
In operator sighting.
And I think Mina needs it. No cap.
He has definitely not had
He's
games, and I think his
whiffing.
impact has been even less.
He's down bad.
Hold it 1 or 2 times, and those were on the attack. But now in the defense, this is, I would definitely call an operator's paradise.
Down
I mean,
bad.
could do so
Alright, is he
much
gonna
here, right?
default hold A long?
Try
Try to timing the smoke that pops in?
An early frag here. He's got a possible 2 players contesting in the form of Sharky and Ohai. If he can find one of them, that could be big. But we do
textbook again.
Equinox have elected to take
Jonah P, Sova ult.
It's getting to a very
pew pew.
point in the game where Equinox are kind of down and out of the dumps, right? 4 rounds in a row. Eco rounds haven't worked. Their full buys against Complexity's full buys haven't worked either. So they're in a sticky position at the moment.
Here.
Absolutely, they are. I mean, all of the potential that they had coming into the second half was essentially seeped away before the first half was done for. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Complexity ended up winning 4 to 5 rounds directly in a row, right when Equinox was starting to get more confidence in terms of just pushing sites and really just trying to go for the individual fights. So Complexity just taking full advantage of that, really just trying to think more tactically in a sense, especially when we saw
drone
more
to put pressure on
retake.
C,
This
pulls
map
out a
has
rotate from
been-
the Cypher,
It's been weird in terms of what has been the dynamic between these 2 teams. It almost seems
hopping
like
A
2
long. So
polar
Jet can have a good
opposites.
moment here,
But now
because like the
Equinox,
camera was still
they're
there to
starting
like hold
think
the
more like
cross,
Complexity
or
in
like
that
support her
first half. They
in
wanna
some
think more
fashion.
strategically, more
So that
tactically,
camera breaks,
more
so
safe
you know
in a
the Jet
sense.
is like, okay, gotta
They
get
wanna
ready.
stay towards those back lines, and they want to focus
Beautiful.
on the first interactions. And
That was well
line
played.
is massive
He
because
played really well
just
there.
gotta
I
call
mean,
the
there's not much to
wow.
say other than like
Not
that
the
was good.
second frag, but Jonah P, like you said, the collateral severely low, and well, Mina's gonna finish off the job. There's one way to at least.
Well, it worked.
announce
The
freedom
the
inside
naked
the
op
event.
worked.
Complexity
I think that's that round, and
give and sell a fake, and it is drawing
skip
Tex
through.
away. But on the flip side, and now it's just Dex around the corner. Sharky trying to protect the planner as Tex gets aggressive.
Oh my
Sharky
god,
good enough to sell this fake.
bruh!
Here on the B site, it's all given up, and Now it's just down to 2. Sharky trying to protect the plan. As Tex gets a
Oh
kind of
my
pivot
god,
on.
dude.
He's got to be good enough to sell this fake, but as smokes go
Yeah, Mina is trolling hard.
down here on the
She's an
east
op crutch,
side,
man.
it's all given up. And
But like she wins, like she should theoretically have won this round for this team because she got the first 2
now it's just down
and then set up the 3rd because Cypher was holding this. But this is
to 2.
crazy right here. Like it's a 5v2 and one's planning and this Jet is gonna
Sharky
spray the
trying to
smoke
protect
and ends up killing this Reyna.
the planner.
And then DXN is trying. Okay, this is huge.
Does all
This is
the
huge. This is
pivot
huge.
on him.
Tex and Sova misplay. It's 5v2.
He's gotta be good enough
All
to
they need to
sell this
do
fake, but as smokes go
is
down here
let
on
them
the
plant
side, it's all
and play
given
retake
up.
together,
Now it's
use your
just down to
utility, be
2.
clean. Instead, basically Tex and DXN, like you notice they're the only people on B side. The Omen, Cypher, and Jet still need to rotate. They just take a 2v2. They literally, instead of taking a 5v2, they take a 2v2 and they both lose. DNX gets greedy because his Omen fake plants,
Trying to protect
right? He fake plants, baits out the Sova. Sova comes in, takes the bait, dies. Tex a little more unlucky. Like this Sova dart probably should have, you know,
aggressive
fucked Sharky, but like Sharky just sprayed the smoke
Sharky. Where did that
and
come from?
and
Spike did
dumpstered
not
him.
go down, however,
And
there's
just like that, they have enough
gonna
time
be
to
enough
plant.
time. Pancakes is trying
Jet's
to
watching. Oh, they don't have enough time.
deny it.
Jet was watching. Does get the kill, but doesn't
but
actually trade
Spike,
it.
It won't go down. Last second denial. Sharky
But
with
like,
3.
damn,
Sharky
dude.
can't win the
That was
round.
huge.
10 to 8
Like,
in
that was not
Equinox.
clean, dude.
It's a last second save by Pancakes.
Like, look at that. Look at the economy on Nox's side now because they decided to do it that way. Like, why not just let him plant and like play a 5v2 and like lose 2 guns at best instead of lose 4 guns and it's looking doomed.
Pancakes.
It's bad.
Now that's what you like to see.
Huh? No, the recon revealed Sharky. So the recon set up Tex to kill Sharky. And so Sharky panicked and shot through the smoke and ended up killing him. Like if Sharky didn't kill Tex right there and then Tex would have killed him. Yeah.
Equinox. They've been fighting up at least the first interactions over towards site each and every time.
Like Tex was waiting for the
This
recon
time,
to
however,
ping,
you
but
had
died just
such a
before the recon
huge
pinged, or just
opportunity
as the
for
recon pinged.
DXN to get a kill onto Sharky. That would've
Oh
been
no,
wonderful.
that was a huge round
I
though.
think it would've been,
That was because
more or
they
less the
lost
nail in the coffin,
armor.
purely because of how dedicated
Sadness.
Complexity actually was over towards the B site. But instead, Sharky, big frag, and Pancakes? Come on! Shutting down the spike within milliseconds of the round ending.
Yeah, Pancakes is
Now,
actually
folks,
playing really
we
well.
have a ball game. Equinox now, trying to run away.
Nowhere
What
to
will
run.
be the first interaction, but
Oh!
again! Mina, turn around
Yeah,
and
so maybe
around,
Complexity is
and
not good
this
against
time,
Oppers,
it's
because honestly,
worthwhile. A
the
collateral
Op has
with
paid off 2
kills
rounds in a
attached to
row.
it. Complexity
Again, this
down
should
to
be this round.
They've got
Like there
3
shouldn't be
kills
anything
to show
more.
for it, and it only costed a couple of engagements. Mina does miss.
Yeah, that's
Third
it.
shot, but Tex
Oh my god.
just around the corner.
Jonah P,
Always
better?
has that backup plan. Jonah P, a 1v5 has at least removed 1 of the 5. It's down to 4. Can get Tex.
Bro,
to
Jonah
make
P
it
is
3.
just better.
Here's another low HP player. You never count this man out. He's had a stellar game so far, and he's looking to add to the collection of stars of Complexity.
Holy shit, man.
Well, apparently not. With X-ray being off, you know that
Aw.
something's about to go down, right? Jonah P.
Mina
Way
is
to
an
go.
op crutch.
An op, really all game.
Alright, well they won that round because of Mina again.
We're in the shoes.
So this round, yeah, so this round Complexity is saying fuck it, fuck the Opper, we're running him down. We don't give a fuck. We're going. And so it's actually kind of funny because Mina opt A, then opt B, and now is opting C. So Complexity goes A. Holy.
The X-ray goes off, so we feel like we're in the
Smoke
shoes.
cross, run,
Jonah P
go.
clutches there, and, I
Omen
felt
ult
for
in,
Jonah P. You have
bam,
no idea
Omen
what's going on.
flash,
However,
great.
Complexity, they're
Take
taking
sight,
off the pace. HG
lock him
shut
down.
down the lockdown. They were vying for
XP3
early
with a teleport.
sewer control. Yeah, XB3 now.
Now the Opper is neutralized.
We're on his POV. He is gonna try and control this, but he's trying to drop some smokes. This gets a little bit dicey, however.
Oh, this is
the barrier
bad.
will keep him back, but they are
Oh! Ah! Wow.
swing, but they get detained. XB3
Wow.
No.
jailbreak, and he's
Wow.
out there. But he's trying to drop some smokes. This gets
Just
a little
wow.
bit dicey, however. Hopefully the
This is
barrier
a
will keep
wow.
him back, but they are gonna swing, but they get detained.
Whoa.
Imagine being Omen, like, Pancakes is actually, like, trying to do so much for his team.
XB3
No.
Like, that's not acceptable.
jailbreak. break and he's out
Sharky
of
watching
it.
flank,
They're
Tex
4 versus
lurking Reyna,
5, and
dies
Sharky
for
cuts off a
nothing.
flank.
I mean, that's just
Oh
highway
my
robbery.
god.
Poorly times coming in from DXN, but I mean, even then, still complexity. They have the man advantage. XB3 takes one back, but DXN finally gets the kill
Oh
back
my
onto
god.
XB3.
Okay,
but
AGM shouldn't
now
have
without the
peeked.
trade, now it's a 3v3. DXN still in the front lines over towards A main. You still have Sharky looking on in heaven.
Okay,
Could
Sharky
be able
wins
to
the
get this frag,
gunfight.
and indeed it does. Good spray down. And but DXN, he was in
Oh
lockdown
my
early
god,
on, but
dude.
he comes back. But oh hi! Could be highway robbery. Early times coming in from DXN, but I mean, even then, still complexity. They have the man advantage. XB3 takes one back, but DXN finally gets the kill back onto XB3, but now without the trade, now it's a 3v3. DXN still in the front lines over towards A main. You still have Sharky looking on in heaven. Could be able to get this frag, and indeed it does. Good spray down. And but DXN, he was in lockdown a
I don't know, dude.
earlier on, but he comes back. But oh
These are crazy
my!
matches. These are crazy
I mean, he's
games.
saying no hi to the players of this game out. They had no idea he was there.
I don't know. Complexity had the right macro game plan there. They just rushed down the site, right, and didn't die to the op. And then Nox's retake there was,
In Equinox, I mean,
I don't know, it
I don't know
looked
about you, Sully,
okay
going into this game.
until it wasn't
I would
okay.
consider this an upset if it happens.
I mean, it's the map pick, at least of complexity. That's one of the few things we can say for Equinox. But oh hi, oh my goodness, comes out of nowhere to strike from a smoke essentially. They did not expect this, and they lined up perfectly
I mean,
for them.
the lineup's lucky.
Oh hi puts them fired up and ready.
I don't know,
to
it could
go.
be 10-10 here.
Equinox, Gus, they've been holding on to 4 ults. The Hunter's Fury can be massive. He needs a few more rounds.
Alright, what are the loadouts? They skipped loadouts for this. I'm upset.
He's fired up and ready to go. But Equinox,
I mean, I think Complexity does the same thing. I
I
mean, I can't check money, so I don't know if they can buy another op.
To help them win this round.
But like,
Complexity
if there's
have
another
been
op,
playing
then they
smart.
just do the same thing with
Very
Phoenix ult.
very wary to the fact there is a Hunter's Fury.
Doesn't
They're
look
trying
like
to
they
play
have an op
around it and
though.
maybe possibly bait it out, whereas Equinox,
Regardless, they still go fast with Phoenix ult. It's just
does
textbook.
At least feel like they are trying to get a little more aggressive, right? With Mina going down towards long, get as much
Here we
info as
go.
possible.
Joke's
They'll run it back
over.
just to try and sell the fake. Ohai's looking for info.
B site.
He's got plenty of it in the form of
I like
numbers.
this by
What we
Nox.
hear on
Give him
B.
B site because you actually don't care if they plant B site. You just play
And then
retake.
Equinox
You have
is
Sova ult
all
for
about
retake as well. Sova ult, if they plant B, is like pretty strong because you can just ult window
Just wait out
or
for that
grass
run
or
back to
cubby
go
or
down.
headshot
They can
box.
immediately find what is going on.
Yeah, this is a
Pancake.
great ult. This is a
Sharky
great ult
still
by
the
DNX.
kill back, but I mean, I don't know if it counts, but 3 rounds in a row we get a collect. I mean, not in a row, but 3 out of 11.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like what Complexity did there. Like, I think, I mean, against Sova taller, I don't know. It's just up to the positioning. DNX has a good play because he positions for the right place to get this right angle for the ult.
But I mean, I don't know if it counts, but 3 rounds in a row.
Like, is there a counterplay to that? I'm not sure.
I mean, not in a row, but 3 out of last.
That's why
four. Are you
Sova's
kidding
broken.
me? The Hunter's Fury this
Okay,
time
what is Sharky
executes.
doing? how are you expecting to pick up Spike like that?
Tex gets it.
No way.
Crossfire. Jonah P1v4. 25 seconds left.
Yikes.
I mean, there's just no way. Jonah P has been an
Yikes.
absolute monster thus far this game, but it's done and dusted. He needs the Vandal going into the next round, and we.
And I think Complexity have a thing for lining up for Equinox. First, collateral tag from Mina that warrants 1 kill. Then a
I don't
collateral
like
on the
this
next
game.
round. Thankfully, we get a little break.
Watching
in
these
class,
two teams
and
makes me
then
upset.
1 shot off
Alright, they've showed loadouts. Yeah, so last round they didn't have an op. I don't know, it's tough. Like, yeah, it's tough. That round was tough, actually.
Technically
Sova ult's
two,
OP.
right? The first one was to
How do you
tag.
play against Sova
The
ulti? I don't
second
even know,
one
man.
finished off too. I mean, I said there was going to be a Hunter's Fury, but I didn't think in that capacity. Now, Equinox, they're bringing in one, and
Good
then
positioning by
Complexity,
DXN.
Staying alive is actually going to be a little bit of a detriment.
Got the
to
right
their
angle
run,
for it.
right? He's only going to get 1k credit, so he's now going to put in a weird financial position where he's going to have to full buy, and the rest of his team, they'll have leftover credits.
Sharky saving for op, question mark?
Complexity, just off of 1 round,
No way.
is going to suffer immensely, and Equinox, here's their confidence back. Just 1 round is all it took.
It's a culmination of a whole lot of things. I mean, you could expect that Equinox, they had a little bit of a pep
Bro,
talk,
man staring at the
especially
bottom, didn't
after
know what was
the
going on.
2v1 loss that they had to Ohai. I mean,
Yeah,
they
they could have shot more people and
Yeah,
killed
could
more
take
stuff
away
and
their-
try to get Eco out.
I guess you could say their motivation or something.
It's crazy.
Of the sort, but it's just
Alright,
that dynamic
C
is
split
so
with
close,
Jetlurk.
but just a little bit too far. This time
Oh
it's
my
still the
god!
same
Dude,
opportunity.
Cuter Fat Boy just got
Oh,
fucking
hi, there
dumpstered.
you go.
Hey, that's Vandal diff versus Phantom diff,
No
by the
way
way.
he gets himself a third off of this one. No, XP3 takes it back. Double kill for Ohai.
Sharky almost won that.
Although low on HP, they're still fighting towards that back line, but
Yeah, and now they just
Complexity
played postbent with so
essentially in a
wealthy.
flat
This was
out
also textbook. I don't know. Both teams are very
made
textbook, you know?
themselves
It's like kind of weird.
what might be
They're
a
like
12th round.
they're like
Joey P,
really textbook.
That's well timed. That might hit just the right time, but I don't think it did.
Which is weird.
Still the defuse going down. No way.
Like
no way,
because
no
these
way.
teams are so textbook, I feel like there's not too much to say.
That's a little bit of a miracle
Oh my
getting
god.
defused, but
Wait,
even
when's that?
then, Mina has no smoke.
Oh my
Can't
god.
help this out. Instead, it is going to be XP3. So weird at the end.
Yeah.
It was close, but Equinox.
Like, that was a good
they
take.
couldn't pull off the
It's a vault.
cheese that they
Play
needed in
triple
the
C-Long.
sets.
Playoff
Only a
Silvault.
singular smoke really
C-Long
covering
is
up that
great.
defuse, but Complexity
C-Long plans hard to
is the
retake.
story. 12
Or no?
rounds
Is there
already
much to
in,
say?
looking for the 13th to get themselves
Ay,
an advantage
ay, ay.
going to the second map of Ascent.
Alright, a little unfortunate as well. You know, the jet nerf on her smoke. So Mina
Right.
had to kind of spam those down. It's like, yes, that plays a slight factor, but then again, Complexity, they end up just spamming through it, so it didn't really matter too much. Now, Complexity, here's map point here on Haven. The first map of a best of 3 in Equinox. This was one they should have been poised to take after the performances that they put up in the last 3 events they've played. 3 third-place finishes in a row. You don't want to come behind in this one, at least. Tex playing behind the box of B. Won't be spotted out by the Owl drone. He does actually need to destroy it, so never mind. They do know where he is. But Cam. Oh, hi. Does he cross and will he get spotted? Instead, they're going to invest an Owl drone, so they've got the info. But so far, to their knowledge, at least Equinox, it's only one player that they've spotted. And on the other side, Mina's gotten aggressive, so they can feel the hit coming on in. They see the players in garage. Smokes drop to allow these players to
Bro,
cross.
this
You don't
like
wanna be
okay, this to me is
one
like
fight.
crazy.
Tex is
Like
watching
why
the
is the
game.
Sova the first person in? Is Sova gonna lurk with a recon now? I'm so confused. Like I they're like oh my lord, dude, why are we leaving the Sova there? I'm confused. Oh my god, dude.
The camera up, not exactly gonna spot anything, but actually saw a couple of players on. Oh man, Jonah
Dude, if I died like that, it was like,
at least
oh
one of
my
the
god.
rotations, but
And
they're
that happens in
looking
Comp too, right? It's just
and
like
looking for one.
dying
They'll be able
from
to
people that are,
find
oh my god.
Still 3
Dude, he has to get,
This could be the
bro,
top
how does
again
DNX got
inside,
any?
but oh hi, the 1-2 combo again. This man is just filled with doubles. And I mean,
I don't know. I actually, honestly, like watching these two teams, like, it's pretty bad. Like, I don't think they play well as a team. Like, they have like textbook moments, right, where they like do the right takes and like they put their people around the map in like the right places and like do the right strategical utility usage. But like, a lot of it is like actually really questionable and like sus and like kind of the stupid shit that you see in like Comp all the time. I don't know. This is not a good, like, I don't think this was a good game. Like 13-10, like it's close, right? But like I don't know, I feel like it was kind of gross.
They looked too good, and then those 5 rounds in a row on the defense, they